What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Good,
Hey
Gabe. How you doing?
guys,
Hey
What's up, Lee?
guys, welcome back. Today, got a great show for you today. What's up, Lee, Brad? Thank you so much for jumping on with me tonight, man.
Yeah, dude.
no
Thanks for inviting me.
problem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And again, guys, we have a great show today because you guys, I'm sure you've seen the cover. I finally convinced, not even convinced. I pushed Lee to finally send me some videos of his whole house um, to show everybody. So you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, it
But
took like 2 weeks to put together, right, with work and everything.
I know, man. Well, cool. And and Brad, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. This is my house, so there's nothing really to show. I don't have to move my camera around at all, like Lee will have to.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see my Flynn sign kind of freaking out. Cheap
Yeah,
LEDs.
what's up with that?
It's just cheap LEDs, so I'll have to fix it later. But
I
it's
thought
just
that
like
I thought that
those crappy ones inside.
I thought that was neon, Brad.
No, you know what those are is they're the paper mache letters from Michaels.
Hmm.
And then I just because those are hollow, and I just cut them out. Like cut the lines out, and then stuck in LEDs because I wanted them curved, like the
Right,
real
just
sign.
like yeah.
Yeah. So I think yours, the Flint sign behind yours is flat, right? It's flat
Yeah,
neon.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted to get one of those, but it's just
I had limited space in there. It's only like 20 some inches wide, right? So
yeah.
The
You got
best.
that custom made though, right?
yeah. There's a guy on Etsy I found.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I don't remember his name though.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, so tonight, Michael's at Wonderfest. I'm sure you guys have seen if you guys follow him on social media. He's over there with, Lauren Peterson, and he's just kind of hanging out. Like, what the heck? So it's very cool. Um, so yeah, so today I figured we'd just jump on, hang out, show you guys Lee's collection. That way he could also narrate it too, because I realized once I was doing that video and I was narrating it, I was like, oh, like I actually don't know what that is. It was like late at night, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it and
I
show
what
him
ones didn't you know what it was?
like the Boba Fett helmet and things like that. I mean, just like who's the maker and things like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I'm with you.
But cool. Well, let's say what's up to our family over here. What's up, Matt? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Matt?
The other Matt, what's up, Matt? Sean, subpar collection. Yeah, No, the comments have been pretty
Subpar culture.
right. Yeah.
I'm,
No.
I'm trying to step it up, Sean. I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
I'm surprised the fancy bathroom. That's what you know. What I said that somebody commented that, and I was like, "Yeah, we didn't even see the bathroom, and the bathroom's probably just as impressive." So,
Well, it's getting a little bit of an upgrade right now, so
oh, is it?
yeah.
Oh man. And then we got Scott. What's up, Scotty? How you doing, man? Armando. What's up, Armando? Chris, how you doing, Chris? Trent. Got Zombie Hunter. What's up? Star Wars Addict 88. We got to look for all the. Yeah, I think we should all just be Star Wars addicts. Remember, like we said last time. Got Eric. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man? Got Dan. How you doing? Greg. Big Cat Pete. How you doing?
What's going on, Pete? Probe droid.
The probe droid. That big probe droid, man, gets a lot of attention, bro.
There's only a handful one, right?
Yeah, and I actually got like some oh my god, I forgot his name already. There's another collector I reached out to me that he was like, oh, like basically like your probe droid was one of the inspirations for him doing it. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, I did. I got Robin the same base too. Robin
Yeah.
back, but she got the same one.
Yeah. Marcel, what's up, man?
Cat. I think I figured out why my cat is so fat. It's not what I'm feeding. I think she keeps eating socks and rags, and I think things are just building up.
I don't think they're supposed to do that, man.
They're not, dude. I can't leave any shoes around. She eats all the laces. It's like
Yeah.
a dog. Fucking idiot.
Hey Lee, is that glowing thing your microphone? What is that thing?
Mhm.
I don't think it's plugged in.
Yeah, I don't think it's picking up. I see. There goes my flint sign.
Yeah. It sounds like you're like, I don't know.
Well, no.
I got to turn my flint sign off. It's bugging the hell out of me.
Oh, the
Is
sound.
that better, Gabe?
Yeah, way better. Yeah, you didn't have it
Okay.
turned on or what?
I guess it was turned down.
No, gotcha.
I only use it on this and when I'm talking to my parents, but I usually talk to them on my phone. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ree shamed me into getting a good microphone last time. He's like, can't freaking hear you.
I did. I was going to send you that one, dude.
Oh yeah, no, it worked out. Actually, my son had this one, and I just stole it from him.
Yeah.
He was,
Right. Now I feel bad. Now I gotta go grab my microphone. I feel like I'm the one with the subpar sound here.
Actually, you sound probably the best out of us, I think.
Probably,
Really?
yeah.
Sounds okay.
Yeah.
Because you're a lot closer, I think. From this platform. From my
Armando,
mic.
looking forward to watching this. Queer Eye for the Straight Collector guy.
He wrote that on my page. I thought that was pretty damn funny.
I mean, dude, dude, you have a good eye for that kind of stuff, man. It's very
Yeah,
display.
your Ghostbusters wall. I can't wait to see that, dude. Because what was it? Yesterday was Ghostbusters Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday was going.
Thursday, yeah. And dude, your post on Instagram it's impressive. So
Yeah.
impressive.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I want to do that, the proper pack, because this is not. I want what you got.
Yeah, I still need to put lights and sound in mine. Just one of those things. It's
Yeah, you said they're hard to get hold of, right? Those.
Yeah, Ghostbuster GB fans, like they sell out of the kits that you need. They'll have like one soundboard, but not the other. They won't have the lights. They'll have, and it's like you have to kind of piece it together. I've been looking pretty religiously on their sites for the last 4 or 5 years, and never have I timed it just perfectly where they have everything in stock.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of frustrating, but whatever.
Are you're still trying to build one from scratch?
So my pack's done. I built my pack at the same time I built my my Han Solo and Carbonite, and it was actually harder than the Han to build, just because of all the crap that goes on it. But I just don't have lights and sounds in it. It's all ready for it.
Yeah.
It's a fiberglass pack and everything. But
What thrower did you use, Brad?
which what?
What thrower did you use?
Which thrower? This was a Venkman 77 pack, so it's a Sean Bishop's pack that he
Not
did.
the thrower, the actual.
Yeah, I mean it's all a kit.
Oh, okay. Oh, it all came together like that.
Yeah. I had to buy or build everything. So, it's all fiberglass, and there's actually real clippered valves on it and real parts on it. But
I was looking at that Matty collector ones. That the first one. Those are actually pretty nice. Those throwers.
yeah, are they? Can you actually add them to a real pack?
Well, I think you could run the wire in through it and do it. I think there's a conversion kit for that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Are you ever going to get a pack? Are you into Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I ended up getting the Hasbro one, the HasLab one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I got that one. I mean, I don't know if I'll upgrade anything or do anything. Because it actually looks pretty decent just for display purposes.
Totally.
I know Lee and I were talking about that, and then Lee went down this huge rabbit hole about it to the point where he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna build my own."
Well, I was gonna strip this one, and then it was like, I'll just leave that and build
it's too much work.
one.
Yeah. So no, I have that, and I have I think it's the Hollywood Collectibles, right? Or what is it? Hollywood.
Yeah. Hollywood
HCG.
collectibles.
Yeah, I got the ghost trap, and what else do I have? I got like, remember when Anovo's put out the little patches, like the replica
Oh
patches?
yeah,
I got those. Not too many Ghostbuster things, but
yeah.
I just wanted the pack and the trap. I wanted, maybe I want to get the Hollywood collectibles, the goggles,
Goggles.
but because I
Yeah.
did have the ones that, who was it? The Factory
Oh,
Entertainment, or like,
well, there's the was the like the Hollywood or the Halloween versions. Those, or they also had the
Spirit
Mattel
Halloween.
did them, or
yeah, it was. I think it was some Mattel
Mighty
ones.
Collector. Yeah.
Yeah, I got them, and then but I sold them. I ended up getting like, I think on a Black Friday sale, I ended up getting like the Ghostbuster goggles. I ended up getting. Remember how they also did the Batman cowl, the '66
Yep.
Batman cowl, but it looked kind of toyish, and then the belt too. So I ended
Yeah.
up selling those a couple years ago. But what's up, Sean? How you doing, bro?
Talking of '66 Batman, did you guys order that '66 Batman from Jazz Inc.?
No, it's beautiful though. The car. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to have come in July.
It,
July, and then
oh,
I
you
got
got
an
it.
email saying, yeah, it's not coming till September now, though.
Did you
There's
get it,
also.
Lee?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice. Where are you gonna put that?
I mean, honestly, I'm doing a disservice to that DeLorean because it's
Yeah.
stuck up there on top of that, but I don't
Yeah.
know where to put it, man. I honestly
Don't
have
feel
no.
don't feel badly. My DeLorean's in the box still.
It's
He's
such a nice piece, right? I mean, it really does deserve to be put on display, but it's
yeah.
stuck up there out of the way. Yeah, annoying. But I'd like to get some kind of stand so I could wall mount it like a TV stand. You know what I mean?
To like hold
Yeah.
it up. Yeah.
So you can, like the ones that you could adjust it so it would be on the wall like this.
The problem would be like figuring out where to like grip it,
Mount it.
right? Because there's
Yeah.
nothing
You have to
to.
mount it to a stud, probably. I mean, it doesn't weigh that much, but you don't want.
Yeah.
Well, I think he meant the car, right? I think you'd have to, if you could like pop the undercarriage open, maybe get some magnets in there and do it that way. Maybe
Yeah, that's true too.
might be the only way
Yeah.
to do it where you're
It
not.
depends on if you want to do it at an angle or not. So it's kind of like.
Yeah, so that's why I'd want it pitched like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So the grapple gun, I know, man. That thing, right? That is
The palette was it the
Paragon one, right?
Paragon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an email from those too for the cryo can.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that, man. I got that.
Oh,
Well, actually, tomorrow's the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park release.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Shit.
Nice.
Yeah, that doesn't make you feel old.
I know.
Well,
Right?
you saw that video. Did I send it to? I sent it to both of you, didn't I? So if they went, the one in Back to the Future, if he went back in time
yes.
now, he would go back to 1993 because it's the same distance as what he went back to. That was depressing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to go back to 93.
No, 93 was awesome.
I go back to 93 and then just buy a bunch of vintage figures when
Yeah, okay, yeah.
when nobody would like cared about it. It's just like
Yeah.
well, cool. Well, I think we should start the tour. Like I because I really want Lee to kind of tell us what's up. So
I thought you did a grand job.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks.
Except for the Stitch comment.
We'll see. We'll see about that one right now. Let's see if we can. Let me try to figure out what the best way to do this. Let me see.
Guys, welcome back. So today I got a very special episode.
All right. Calm down, guy. Calm down.
Hey guys.
Hey, guys.
Let's relax. It's not that exciting. All right.
I was going to be Gabe, and then Brad was going to be Michael, or was it the other way around?
Well, here, I can do a Michael cam once I get.
Let's see.
You
Yeah,
can always see the top of his head.
Love you, bro.
oh man. All right, let's hold on. Let's go through this. Hold on. Let's skip me doing my. All right, there you go.
Well,
Let's
is a
start it
cat.
from.
Is that the cat right there? I didn't even notice she was in that shot.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification
Like and
right
subscribe.
now.
Hit that notification bell.
All right, hold on. Let's start there. All right, Lee. Before we even get to that, everything. So, how long did this whole house build? I mean, I know a lot of our viewers already know because they've been watching you since you were in a
Since I was a baby. So it's just over 2 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, the interior is pretty much done. I mean, you could see on some of those videos, my backyard is a jungle. There's a lot of work to do it back there.
Yeah. So about 2 years, and
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, look at this, man. I mean, it came out great. I think you did a fantastic job with this.
Thank you. Never again.
Well, Lee, how much planning did you do for all these pieces, and how much was it just on the fly?
Well, let's see. The K2SO originally was going to go in where the probe droid was, and I mean, I didn't plan on that probe droid. That thing came up because Michael just it wasn't long after he got his full size one, right?
Mhm.
And then I said I'd love to have them, and then that came around, so that kind of juggled things around. But I more or less had an idea where everything was going to go.
Yeah.
So where that lightsaber display is, that was a fireplace where the fire was. So and where like I've got the TV area, that was the dining room. So everything, like the wall behind the TV, I had to cut out. You can pause it if you want, Gabe.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to go through your whole house. This is just kind of the initial walkthrough.
So I had to cut the wall out behind that brick wall so I could run all the cable in for all the speaker system and everything. I rewired it all myself. That 3/4 of the house.
Really?
And then replumbed it.
What was in that space right there, Lee? The Ghostbusters space?
That used to be an old linen closet, because that's not a linen closet. What do they call? Well, I guess it wasn't. It was all drawers and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm never going to use that. So it was going to be, originally I was going to put some Queen Studio busts in there, but I saw 2 of them came out, and the ones that was going to go in there, the Vision and the Mark 7, and I canceled them, so I didn't like the way they looked. So that's how that ended up being that.
Cool.
So,
and
I mean, a lot of planning, but kind of on the fly too.
Yeah, because these 2 pieces, you bought them while in that house, right? Or did you already have some of these?
No, I had the Han Solo, and I pre-ordered that Boba Fett the day that episode of Mandalorian season 2, when he got his armor back, and it was like, holy shit, he's badass. And then by the time I get that, he turned into a pussy in his own show.
Hey, but this is not the same. This is not the same Boba Fett, man. Come on,
dude. Yeah, so that's why I got this, because that episode was just like awesome, right? When he kicked all those stormtroopers' ass.
Yeah,
and then
I mean, that's
Vespa's in it.
That's such a. I mean, I actually love that piece. I mean, it's
such. It's cool, but I mean, we look at Boba Fett, I think, in a slightly different light now, right?
Well, did you have to alter his head? Because I know some of them were really weird, long-necked versions.
Oh, really? No, the only thing I had to do was that, I don't even know what they call that, the like cod piece thing in the front.
Oh yeah.
The holes wasn't lining up, and they sent me another one because I broke it trying to put it in there. They sent me another one. It still didn't fit, and I had to tap it out myself. It didn't fit.
Yeah. That's my favorite helmet of all time, right there.
Yeah,
mine too, dude.
Yeah, such a beautiful build. Beautiful.
I couldn't remember Annie's account, and I was like, Bush Builder.
Yeah, I think it's pushed over, right? I think it is.
So this thing, obviously, I remember you telling me it was in a roll, right? And you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't want to tell anyone about it. Like, I want it to be like a big reveal. So what kind of made you go with this, or how did you even think about like?
Dude, it popped up on Instagram. That company is called Photo Wall, and they had that image, and I was like, oh man, that'd be perfect. But you know how it is. I just didn't want to tell anybody my secrets.
Right, we know.
So what you do is you measure up the wall that you want to put it on, and they'll custom make it to that size. I think that's like 6 pieces of wallpaper.
Oh, is it?
Really?
Yeah.
Did you install that yourself then?
No, I'm no wallpaper, dude. I'd be peeling off by now if I'd have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
some
just
woman
lining
came
it up.
here. Yeah, I'm doing it right, so it's completely flat, right? Yeah, some woman that I called up a bunch of like DIY, not like Home Depot, but like these smaller stores, and they said, "Oh, this woman here, she's highly rated in town." So, I mean, she wasn't cheap, but she did a good job.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that. I thought it was one big roll because there's no seam lines. Like, well, at least from the naked eye.
You can see them if you like up really close, but
Yeah.
I mean, everything is aligned so perfectly. She did a great job, man. I couldn't have pulled it off.
I also think, and did you plan this where she's kind of off a little bit to the side, so it's for the light switch, or that just happened to just be perfect?
So I had it all laid out on the floor
Mhm.
before she came here, and then she kind of did that
Okay,
because there was a little bit of leftover on the other side, right?
gotcha. Okay, man, I mean that thing's beautiful.
I think that wallpaper is the coolest thing in the room, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty damn cool.
And then you got your number one there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I modified that one and then put the eyelids on it.
That's the Hot Toys one, right?
No, that's a sideshow one.
Wait, that one's a sideshow one? Oh, okay, I thought the other one
Yeah.
was a sideshow.
Yeah, I cut his arms and legs off, and man, I felt horrible. I got a saw looking at me. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry.
But didn't Adam Savage do that on Tested?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they did that.
I saw an Australian guy is the one I saw doing it. That's where I got the idea from. I did the same way he did his. It was pretty easy.
And then there's your K2SO, and that thing is. I mean, you've had that for a little while, right? I mean,
yeah, about 4 years, maybe, no, 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah. And what was that retail when it came?
I didn't buy a retail. I missed out on it, and there was a guy on eBay, and all he sells is life-size stuff. And it was sitting there for a while. It was like, fuck. So I mean, it wasn't cheap, but he didn't. I mean, there wasn't that much tacked on. Maybe 1,000, maybe.
Yeah.
But that was included with shipping, and that wasn't easy to ship.
And so, is there metal armature frame in there?
I think in the legs, yes. The rest of it is, I think, in the arms and the legs. The body is not.
The fiberglass.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that thing rocks because when I had that set up in my apartment downtown, and we had an earthquake here, and it's wobbling like this.
Wow. Give me a second. I'm gonna go see what my dog's barking at. I'll be right back.
All right, now the Gabe's gone. Just I was going to ask you about the windows, because I know we're talking about the collection, but the windows and the floors, are they engineered wood floors? Or
no, it's LVP luxury vinyl planking.
Oh,
so there was wooden floors in here.
Yeah.
But the guy that installed them, I mean, he did such a bad job, the guy that owned this place.
Do you have to worry about humidity where you're at?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets crazy humid here. But they wanted 20,000 to fix the floors.
Holy crap.
And it's like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's like, I don't have that kind of money. You know what I mean?
It's like, no, I got to spend it on a K2SO.
Well, it was that was because some of the rooms I didn't have it in. This office didn't. My son's bedroom didn't. I mean, it was like when he pulled up the trim, he'd gone to all this trouble to put wood flooring in here, but left the trim in and then just run the bead in.
Yeah.
Said, why would you spend all that money and do such a shitty job, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I hate that bead in line. That drives me crazy because it just looks shit. Anyway, so yeah, I ended up having to put LVP all the way through the house.
Wow.
Hey, Lee, and then I mean, you were gonna put this where the probe droid is. Would it even fit with that black beam going across?
I don't know, but that initially was the plan.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
because I wanted to put that there and then because I was buying the Vader from Sideshow, and that was gonna go away. That Macquarie Vader print of Marcel's is because I've got that tension wire lighting, it won't fit because it's that Vader is just as tall as this.
No shit.
Yeah, with the base and that. Yeah.
Wow. So here's some of your helmets, a bunch of RS helmets right on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are cool, man.
Those are all
Just
super
showing-
light, right? The RS props, they're
yeah,
backformed.
like paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sean, by the way, on getting that job with Paragon. That's awesome, man. I can't imagine having a job working in a studio. That's gonna be awesome.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, this is also where I was just like, I couldn't remember if you had like the Novos and the EFX, and then I remembered that you got the EFX season 2 one, and I was like,
that's the season 1 because you can see like the yellow on the cheeks, right?
Yeah.
And then them 3 Jacks, they're from GCE, is it? And then Jackson painted all of them.
right.
And
Yeah, and
that's
the Boba Fett's the one that threw me off because of the plaque. Because the plaque,
I got that was his last signing, dude. I mean, you can see it. I mean,
so yeah,
it doesn't look great,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
He got kind of squiggly too, like in his. It's not as fluid as his original signings.
yeah.
So, is your plan to get signatures of all the actors or people that made the helmets?
I got the Emily Swallow one because Joseph got it for me. I can't find it. I don't know where the hell that went when it's here somewhere. And then that girl that plays, what's her name? Cosca Reeves. I'd like to get hers too.
Yeah.
And I got to send Ben a plaque to sign for this actually too. I love that, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, that's a Trooper Trent, right?
Yeah, freaking.
Can you imagine having that as a kid?
Oh, dude,
you just blow your mind.
Yeah.
And then that's from Walt Wizard.
Walt Wizard. Yeah, I couldn't. It was like when I was narrating, I was like, I thought it was like Walt something, but I couldn't remember his name.
Well, remember I found him on eBay.
Yeah.
And then I messaged him.
Kind of discovered him.
You can see my backyard. Look how shit it is. My pool looks like a nature reserve. Yeah, so Walt, I bought that from him for $3,000, I think it was. And then he messaged me like a month later, said, "Oh, I'm gonna this run of these, I'm gonna do them for $2,500," and sent me $500 back.
Wow.
I mean, how many people do that?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. But I think he did pretty good off my promo on that thing for.
Yeah, I mean, because you got the first one, and then all of a sudden he got at least another good 4 or 5 orders, right?
I think more than that.
Yeah.
So, other than the Marcel prints, how do you select what art you want to put up on the walls?
Well, I really like
that with a freaking little dork.
What a nerd. Well, Jerry Vanderstelt, I really like his work. I think he's one of the top ones. And then that other guy that does the silhouettes, I really like his too. The one with the cantina and Jabba's palace. I can't think of his name offhand. And then the one that I have, that French dude did. Remember that? It took me 2 years to get him to send to
Oh
print.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, the fire one, the
Yeah,
Vader.
the myth,
Yeah,
kind of the mythos looking one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But this one, obviously, if you guys don't know, if you haven't heard the story, so that's actually Lee, right? Well, Lee, can you just tell the story because you can never hear it enough.
Well, so it was back home. It's Carrefour. It was called. Is basically what Walmart is today. Back in the 80s. I guess it was 1980. I thought it was a little bit later than that, but I mean, I look about 5, I guess.
Mhm.
So they were doing the promo there, and the guy that was doing the photo shoot for the promo was good buddies with my uncle. His name was Peter Dash. And he told my uncle, because he knew that I was a Star Wars fan, he said, bring Lee down. And my cousin came down too.
Mm.
And took that photo. My mother jumped up to give him a kiss, and he full on grabbed it by the throat.
Oh my! Imagine having that picture.
I know.
Chucking your
Like, he
mom.
was in full on character, man.
So, and that's actually Peter or
Dave
Dave
Ross.
Prowse. Yeah, well, he lived in Bristol. It's only 40 minutes from my house, or where I used to live, right? So,
Yeah.
But the suit, so the gloves look like TIE fighter gloves. Like it doesn't look like it's
yeah, and the
like the helmet.
lightsaber is definitely not right.
Yeah, but the helmet and the cape look good, and the armor,
Yeah.
the shoulder armor. I can't really tell about the belt. The belt might be.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
met him twice, man. So I met him there, and then the Green Cross Code man. He did a road safety awareness, and it was like a month before he come to the school. I'd actually got hit by a car, so they pulled me out of the crowd and sat me on the shoulder.
Yeah. And again, that's crazy that it's David Prowse, and I mean, that's just there's no one that can say that they have this such a cool picture. And as a kid too, like that's freaking cool, man.
But I mean, he's a local boy, right? I
Yeah.
mean, back then, it's
Now, do
yeah. I
you
mean,
have you have the negative to like? Could you make copies of that? I think we
I
talked about this.
I saw Peter passed away in, I think, like 2000, or maybe earlier than that. And I asked my mother, because he's a professional photographer. That's what he did. He's for the local newspapers and stuff. And I said, is there any way we could find that negative? And there was no way I could find it, which was sad because I'd love to have had that negative. I mean, I've got the original is in my bedroom where Dave Prowse signed it
Yeah.
30 some odd years later then.
Okay, so you were able to make it. So this is a copy.
That's a blow up off the original.
Oh, so the original is like a smaller, like little
Yeah, sure. No.
little
Hold on.
5x7.
My accent and showing you.
Yeah, I always thought it was a big, like it was always a big print. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's pretty crisp.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw-
that is probably my favorite thing in Lee's collection.
Yeah, I saw Dave Prowse. He did a talk in Seattle where I grew up,
Mhm.
and he came and he had a broken leg, and I try to say that it was right after Empire or during Empire or something like that. He broke his leg, and he said that he made a joke like someone stepped on his cape when he was Vader and he tripped or something like
Oh,
that.
and
It was
he
like
tripped.
weird.
Shit.
Yeah.
Let's see it, Lee.
So that's the original.
Okay, like an 8x10.
Yeah, it says to Lee, the force is with us.
Oh,
That's cool.
that's cool.
Dave Prowse. Yeah, you can see the patina on it because it's an old picture now.
Yeah.
So when did he sign that?
My son so the original was at my mother's house, and then, man, I can't even think what year it was, but it was at least 35 years after, like 30, maybe 36, 37 years, because my son did this and took it to a con because he was in Cardiff in Wales, and got him to sign it and then sent it to me for a Christmas present.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, I cried when I opened. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Did you like when you asked your son about it? Did he like? I mean, did you think Dave actually remember? Like, at least
I don't think
he
so.
probably did so many.
He was looking pretty rough back in the end, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I went to see him at his last public appearance in London,
Yeah.
and I wasn't getting anything signed for myself. I got some plaques signed for somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and I shook his hand and thanked him for everything. And man, his hands were huge. But I mean, his eye, he had a really bad turn in his one eye, and yeah, he was sat down. I mean, you didn't see him very mobile at all.
No.
Yeah, I met him at Celebration in 2015, and he even then he was
already
pretty
looking
bad off. He wouldn't stand up at all. Yeah.
So this is the infamous master replica display that you for those tumbo doors. What are they? Right? What are they called? Tumbo.
Tombo, yeah, that was a fucking
Man, that was a mission in itself, right there, to try to get those doors.
I flew to South Carolina and then rented a car, brought those back. The guy wouldn't ship them to me, so I was like, "Fuck, I gotta get these."
Yeah,
because I think he had like 18 of them,
no.
brand new. They hadn't been opened, so I was like, "I'm not gonna get this opportunity to do it." So
because they're glass, not plexi, right?
yeah, but I mean, the frame is so thin on them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big display area, right? I mean, they're really clean. They're a fucking nightmare to get them to all straight and all that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I bet.
I don't know how many times I wanted to throw one of those out the window.
Yeah, dude. I even now still like my display.
You'll get them all right, and then they'll just stop moving by themselves
slowly, and I'm like, ah, fuck. I'm just gonna.
So, Gabe, are yours the Billy cases?
No, they're Bestas.
The best.
Yeah. Because I needed the depth for some of the helmets.
Yeah. And honestly, I probably could have gone with the Billy with these.
Yeah, that I ended up using the Besta, like the thinner Bestas. Those are Bestas as well, and the lightsabers fit perfect.
Oh, and I'm not the only one that has one. That's not the only number. That's not. Yeah, there's more than that one.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah, I think he did like 3 runs of 20 or 30. Because there's Dave. What's his name? What the hell's his name?
Dimso?
Yeah, Steve Dimso. That before it was Master Replicas.
Oh,
SD Designs, right? That lightsaber is what ended up in that book, which got him noticed, and he ended up forming Master Replicas after that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wish it was the only one.
Okay. Well, now you have the only one, according to me.
Well, I honestly, I've never seen anybody else with one.
I've never, me either. So there you go.
Maybe
ignorance is bliss, right? So I could just be like, the only one. Lee's got the only one. So here's your McQuarrie helmet, and again, this helmet right here and this display has also inspired a lot of collectors, just because of the way you have it set up with the lights and all that. I mean, there probably isn't like a collector out there that hasn't seen your, or at least in this space, right? Like
right.
And that paint job on that helmet is amazing.
Dude, it's so weird. If there's no light on it, it looks black. I mean, it looks really.
I went to Philip Weiss's house, his collection in Dallas, and he has one, and it's uncovered, no dust cover, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, late after I was editing the video, I totally like spaced out. I was like, oh, I should have asked him for a video of this. We didn't have like a close-up video of all these.
Oh, of the artwork.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. There's
looks like it's all like a lot of Jerry.
Well, there's 2 of Jerry's. You got that Princess Leia in the middle. That's the one he kind of showed on the show. Remember when you guys had him on?
Yeah.
And because when he first released it, because that was for the celebration that didn't happen. Remember?
Yeah. Yep.
So I was like, I don't want it. And then he talked about it on the show. I was like, fuck, I want that now. So that's where I got that. And then the other one is what's his name? Is Jerry's, but what the hell is that company called? Acme Archives put it out. The one that came with the lightsaber, but that's a bigger version one. Yeah. And then,
hey, Lee, just really quick, Greg was asking about kind of the framing and what you do. And do you have like a local framer, or do you go to like Michael's or like
Michael? I use Michael's, but my girl's gone now, though. She's gone to work to Lowe's. So
oh no,
yeah. But I mean,
that one on the bottom's off by a couple of millimeters.
that was a little tremor we had that day.
Oh,
Dude, that's such a nightmare. I even got this like little level I can put them on everything to make everything straight. OCD is a disease, dude.
Yeah.
man. And then you got your probe droid.
Yeah,
That thing's awesome.
I think that in that position there versus where K2SO would have gone, I think that's so much better of a place to have it.
That K2O that SO would look too big there, man.
Yeah, and it would have like kind of cut off that room, you know.
Yeah.
And that pedestal, man. I mean that makes that piece like a museum piece. Like I mean, I
it's the same design I did for the two Vader helmets, and actually I stole that idea from EFX because that's what they did on that legendary scale base. Remember? I mean, it's got that sheet of aluminum and a piece of plexi on top of it.
And then here's your collection of Marcel's work. Should we tell the story? Marcel, I mean, I'm sure Marcel knows. I'm like, I was like, every time I would say Marcel's last name, like in the voiceover, I would like make it like almost like Pepe Le Pew, like exaggerated, like French accent, right? I was like, Marcel Chenille. Like, I was like, no, that's not how you say it. I was like, damn it. And I was like, started going back into the videos and I'm like, there has to be like a very like American way to say it, right? So I finally hit up Lee and I was like, hey man, like how do you say Marcel's last name like just like and then he like spelled it as like Mars and then Ye.
I put Shen Ye.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Shen Ye. And I was like, can you just send me an audio? Like I need to hear it because I even as I'm reading it, I'm like, Shen Ye.
Oh, Maurice Chevalier.
Yeah, I went. I
overdid Pepe Le Pew every time I talk to him now.
Yeah, I like overdid like the French accent every single time. I was like, man, I don't want to like. First, I don't want to offend anyone by me being like all like, you know, like I'm mocking, like I'm mocking like the French accent. I'm just like, man, help me out here, Lee. Oh man. But then I finally got it and it worked out. Yeah. Marcel.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually even gonna message Marcel. I was like, all right, Marcel, like spell it out.
Say your name.
How like someone
don't feel bad, Gabe. People call me Fifi all the time. So.
Oh no!
I had a guy Fife in Cheyenne who was calling Fifi too.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, that Emperor, that the last big one. That's easy. He has one left. That's it, and it's done. It's gone.
Let me go back. Hold on.
These are just amazing.
Oh, honest to God, you can't appreciate how big those are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to be like what,
massive.
3.5, 4 feet tall.
Yeah, it's 60 inches for the print, and then plus the frame on it. I mean, I didn't realize until I was talking to Gabe that day. We was video chatting. I walked past that mall one. He's like, "Wait a minute, back up." Yeah,
what baffles me about Marcel as an artist, like to do that type of scale work and not get and not have any skew of perspective. You know, like if you're doing a photo realistic thing, not having the eyes off just a slight bit. I mean, it's just amazing. It looks like a photo.
You got more patience than I would ever have.
Yeah.
So that Captain America print there, Gabe, that little one, that was a crew gift for the first Captain America movie.
Oh man, see that? Was cool.
I found that on eBay, dude. I knew they existed, and I paid $50 for that on eBay.
Damn.
Yeah.
And who makes these shields again?
Those are made by King Arts.
King Arts, right?
Yeah, will no longer exist.
They're all aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
They don't fly very good though.
And that one too?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was tough to get. That was I don't even know how big a run. I mean, none of those were like limited edition, but those never came around.
Where's
Yeah.
the taxi door?
The what?
The taxi
Oh.
door he uses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. You need that. Here's your Ghostbusters display.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool. That's
Yeah,
such a great use of that space.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it. I went down the rabbit hole because those lights for the ghost containment unit, that wasn't part of the plan, and I ended up running extra two because there was no power in there, right? I ended up running
Right.
220 in there to put that in. Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole a bit.
Man.
I wanted to get the statues, the ones I think it was it HGC did those two, Brad? I think.
They
They were nice. I mean, they look really good, but I mean,
quarter scale guys.
Yeah. But it would look gaudy if I tried to.
Yeah, and when you start adding like mixing toys and props, it's like I sold my quarter scale Indiana Jones just because it just looked weird with the the full scale stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I don't like mixing stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got the fourth one of his prints. It's in there actually, waiting to go to the framers. Did you guys see New York last week? It looked like
2049 or 2024.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Or 20 was it 2040? What is it?
49 minutes.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. So yeah, so all this stuff, most of it also, right? Or is that who made that gauntlet?
Taurus made that gauntlet.
Taurus, okay.
King Arts is the scepter, and
Is it Queen Studios?
that's Queen Studios, but the Loki helmet that was from Taurus.
Taurus, right?
Yeah, that's a Hasbro. That's a Hasbro one.
Wow.
I mean, that was pretty
So-
cheap back then, but it photographs really well.
Yeah. So who do you have on there? What autographs again? Remind me.
Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Holland, Brie Larson, Stan Lee, Dave Bautista, Michael Rooker, Sean Gunn, and what's her name that played Scarlet Witch?
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
No, that's Black Widow.
Oh, Scarlet Witch. Oh, yeah. The
Olsen.
redhead.
One of the Olsen sisters, right? What's her name?
I don't remember.
Yeah, and then that girl that plays Valkyrie. Tessa Thompson, is it? I think that's her name. The black girl.
Yeah. And who are you missing? Who are you planning to get?
So all in the blue, I want to put the all the Avengers, right? The first one. So I want
That's cool.
Let's see. Hulk,
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. is going to go in the middle, but I don't think I'll ever get his autograph, dude. I think that's going to be impossible. And Scarlett Johansson, from what I understand, she's equally as impossible to get. So
yeah, I heard she charges basically $1 million, right?
Well, Robert Downey Jr. wanted like 2 point something million for 8 hours worth of signing. He basically prices himself out of it so he doesn't have to do it, right?
Yeah.
He's got to hang out in Malibu. He's up there all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll send it down to you, Brad.
Well, I charge 2.3 million.
Oh, shit.
for his 8 hours. Yeah, man. Well, cool, man. Yeah, and that's tough too because then like you're not in a great location for like.
I'm not in a great location, period, for anything. other than humidity. I mean, I don't mind this city. It's not bad, yeah. I mean, there's worse places I could live, but there's certainly better places I could live. That's for sure. Well, I put those pictures up today finally.
Lee, are those the files? Because I made those files, the Forbes and the Newsweek.
Oh, I grabbed those off the internet, bloody hell, 5 years ago. They were in my basement because in my old house, all my Marvel stuff was in the basement, and then upstairs, all my Star Wars stuff. Yeah, I mean, they're not great quality.
No, I can probably send you better because those are probably mine. 'Cause I made the whole thing. I have the Rolling Stone. I have everything.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I did those, man. When it's probably about a year after Iron Man came out. Actually, I'll show you how to do it.
No shit. I've got one here of yours that I need to frame up. It's that space. What is that?
Yeah,
I did print it out somewhere.
like I have.
My dog is like going crazy.
Oh hell yeah! Those 8.5 by 11, then, Brad.
Yeah. I'll send you the files. I'll send you. I have every newspaper
What?
or magazine cover, and like you know, again, I did them what 12, 13 years ago.
So how did you do them, man? How did you
Just
get them?
screen grabs, you know, from like the Blu-ray, and
Okay.
and you just like, you know, because they would pan down, and I would just screen grab, stitch it together, pull, like, and then they would do a close-up of like Obadiah Stane's head. I would take
Right.
that, put it on the body. So like sometimes like I think Obadiah Stane's in the Forbes, I think his head's clearer than his body slightly. But yeah, I put them up on the RPF like years ago for free, but I
Yeah,
think
I didn't get them off the RPF. I was just like a Google image search.
yeah.
You probably didn't notice the link, and it probably was some thread somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I always find stuff like that. I find pictures, and I always like tend to look where the source is, and it's usually
Right.
like some type of thread.
Well, thanks for all your hard work, Brad.
Yeah, no problem. No, yeah. Well, I threw them up there for free. I used to sell them on eBay a long time ago for like, you know, $20 a piece. And then I got to a point where I was like, just throw them up for free. So I'll send you the files.
Guys on Etsy, because I bought some of the Ghostbusters when I sent you the file too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you sent me
Yeah, they charge. I don't remember what they charged me for that file. I don't remember. And then, did I tell you that I bumped into Michael Rooker in Japan?
That's what I was gonna ask you to tell that story, man. You told me, yeah, but
Yeah. So we went to Kabuki Theater. So prior to that, Juliet, who gets his autographs because she's his agent, she posted on Facebook she was in Osaka, and we had just left like 2 days because we got back to Tokyo at that point. I was like, "You kidding me? A year?" I said, "We just left." And so anyway, I mean, however many days later it was, because the con was like Friday to Sunday, so it must have been like the Wednesday or the Thursday. So me and my boy go to a Kabuki Theater, and I sat there watching the show. No idea what was going on whatsoever. But I mean, we thought it was going to be an experience, but it was a bit weird. Anyway, I look across, and Michael Rooker sat there, like in the same row. So I mouthed to him, "Michael," like this, and he nodded. So I went over and talked to him. Like I wasn't a fanboy. Could I get a photograph? Any of that? I was just bullshit with him. I said, "Oh, I'm friends with Juliet." He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." so that broke the ice, and he was telling me his daughter lives in Tokyo, and they'd all gone to the bar, I think. But yeah, super nice guy, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're the one that kind of made that happen, right? Because we ended up getting the arrows.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got us his autograph there on the plaques.
Yeah,
Which I love that, like the way that design came out.
Yeah, they came out nice, huh? They did, fair play. I mean, that's our workaround for not having the white, doing the gold on top of the silver.
Yeah,
it worked out good, man.
You know what's funny is so when Iron Man came out, I actually went on the California DMV to see if I could get the Stark 4 license plate. And I guess someone had already taken it. But when Iron Man 2 came out, when I first saw the trailer, they showed his Audi R8, and it says Stark 12. I went on the DMV and got that Stark 12 for my wife's Prius.
No shit, that's awesome, dude.
So I actually have the original. So I took when she was done with the plate, she didn't want it anymore. I was like, I took it off and told the DMV it was stolen, so I kept it.
Yeah.
So I actually have a real Stark 12 plate.
That is awesome, Brad. Hell yeah.
Man, yeah. So, and I love that. And I can't see it there. Did you get it like in the black, or no? Was it just the traditional California plate, like the white.
Oh, that's a New York. Oh,
That's a New York one.
That's a New
Yeah.
York one. That's right there in the yellow and blue. The
No, I'm
California
talking
one
about
is
Brad.
white.
I'm talking about
yeah.
Brad.
Here, I'll show you. It's actually it's right here.
That's freaking cool, man.
Yeah. Let me put Brad in
Oh,
solo.
sorry, it's Stark 11. This is not the Stark 12. This is
Okay.
11.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's the tradition.
Yeah.
That's so cool. She got to rock that on a Prius.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had it on the Prius, and then she was sick of people coming up and talking to her about it, and this is like like a 2005
My
Prius.
husband's a nerd.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's funny because it's crazy here. Yeah, in California, like there's a lot of restrictions. Like, and you got to play around with it until you get it. I did the same thing when I bought. I got a Bumblebee, right? Like one of the Camaro. Like it's a 2010, but it's like the special edition one. And I was like, I got to get something cool, like Bumblebee or something that obviously will say something cool.
Yeah.
And as I'm like typing it, everything's gone. I'm like playing with the word Bumblebee with using like eights and like, and then finally I was like, I wonder if Hasbro is available. Boom, it was available.
No way.
Yeah, so my Camaro, my license plate, it says just Hasbro. Yeah, and I got it in the black with the yellow numbers. Yeah. So it's
it's perfect.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many of those Camaros did they make?
So according to the buyer, and the paperwork has like, but it's handwritten by the dealership. He said there was only 36 here in California. Wow. And that was one of them. So I got it off this guy who's the president of the Ferrari club up in is it Thousand Oaks? It's like the one like right when you go past like the valley. It's like
it's
right
Thousand Oaks, Calabasas.
Yeah, so Thousand Oaks. Yeah. So I actually had to drive to Thousand Oaks to pick it up. I paid him cash because he was like, because I mean, obviously I'm not gonna finance it or anything. So I had to buy it cash. But yeah, his car collection was insane, man. And when I picked up the Bumblebee, it only had, and it was a 2010, and I bought it, I guess right before the pandemic. So it was about 10-year-old car, and it only had like 8,000 miles on it or something like that. Cool. Like it was brand new. The only reason he even used, the only time he used it is he liked to do like races, like the rallies. Right. So he went to it was the the Silver Strand whatever, like race over in Las Vegas, and that car actually won first place in like I forgot, like 143 mile per hour category. So he was just like 143 miles per hour.
Well,
like,
nice to know it hadn't been raced or anything, Gabe.
The what?
Nice to know it haven't been raced or anything.
I know, right? Well, but that's the only time he ever like opened it up, really. You know what I mean? It was just for that race.
Well, that's what they're built for,
Yeah. And but yeah, no, it's a super sport, like RS, like full package. I mean, this guy just went all out on it. And then the doors, that's the only thing he customized is they're normal doors, but then they go up kind of like almost like Lambo doors.
Yeah.
But even looks kind of more impressive, like a transformer.
That's cool.
But yeah, man.
Lambo doors on that.
The what?
I didn't know that you had Lambo doors on it.
Well, I mean, because they open normal, but then like once they're open to their full capacity, you could lift them up. And they're like,
so that's a Hasbro repaint. That helmet is.
Yeah, that's sick.
I think Jackson did one for Joseph too.
Sithmobile. That's cool.
Okay, I was reading it. I couldn't make out what the MBL was, but that makes sense.
He's like, he's either a really big baseball fan or that's who King Arts makes the Thor
King Arts.
That's a King Arts one.
Yeah.
That's the EFX helmet.
Yeah, that Walkman. That's not a Walkman. That's a power bank that Sideshow used to sell.
Oh,
yeah. Did you get the actor, the Black Panther, on your shield?
No, dude. So the story behind that, so he was supposed to have signed in March of 2020, and they cancelled it because of COVID.
Oh crap!
And then
They passed away.
that got cancelled, and then it wasn't long, maybe a month or two after that, those pictures started surfacing of him being sick. But we didn't know he was sick. It was like, man, he's going all out for a role because what's his name? What's the Texas guy when they did that Dallas Buyers Club?
Oh,
I mean, the amount of weight those guys lost for that, and everybody assumed it was for that. Didn't, because he kept it from anybody. Like nobody in that Marvel circle, only Feige knew that he was sick. So Tori from Twin Cities messaged me. He's like, "Hey, the signing's back on," and it was whatever month it was. It must have been like June, July, something like that. And he was supposed to have signed it on the Saturday. Well, he passed away on the Thursday.
Oh man!
Yeah, what a jerk.
Well, I guess they said like he was feeling better, but apparently when you're terminal like that, you start to feel better before you really decline. So yeah,
you already had sent the shield in or no?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I sent it for the first one, and I said just keep it. Well, the months have gone by, and Tori said, "I'm going to send it back. We'll send it to you. Send it back. We'll send it to us when it's back on." So yeah.
Well, you're lucky you got it back, man. It could have been stuck in limbo or.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've used Twin Cities a lot for. I mean, all pretty much. I'd say 80% of those signatures I've gotten have been through Twin Cities. Yeah, he's awesome to work with, man.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It's the first time, and I hit you up about it. I got the Harrison Ford signature from this last signing, and it was my first time kind of going through them. And it's kind of weird because it's actually my only time besides the Star Wars universe guys who
Talking of sign-ins,
Lando.
Oh, I know.
What do you want me to do? I mean,
yeah, hit him up. I
can hit him up, but I'll send it to him. But I gotta pay him though too.
Yeah, just tell you.
You can probably, Gabe. It'd probably be easier if I sent that back to you because he's in California. It's Cool Waters.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Derek Mackey.
Okay. Yeah.
It'd probably be easier for you to do that because he goes to all the shows with him.
Oh, gotcha.
So he can. We'll have to have a look on the website. If there's nothing on the website, I'll just send it to Derek.
Okay.
You'll go from there.
All right.
But you need to probably get that done sooner than later. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. The between Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams and George Lucas, man, they're all in their 80s now.
Getting up there, man. Getting up there.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Is that the Sideshow Golden Idol or the Disney one?
You'll have to ask Gabe. I have no idea.
No,
it's actually one I got it from. I think it was Toy Inc.
Toy Inc. Yeah, so like the little $99.
Yeah.
It's that one's obviously the mouth is off, but the Toy Inc. is like about ½ inch shorter than what it should be. So it's just slightly.
Story of my life, Brad.
I said ½ inch, not 4 inches.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, because obviously now Regal Robots is doing the indies. Like, I mean, I think it's a matter of time.
Oh, they're bound to do that.
Maybe the one even with the eyes.
Yeah, the problem is that every single time when Sideshow did it, they did their own a new sculpt. Then Disney, when they put theirs out, it looks. I think they just used the Sideshow one again, but it looks like they almost like keep resculpting it every single time, and they don't just find the ones in the archives because the mouth turned down is the biggest giveaway. I mean, it's never had a turn down mouth.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I'm kind of excited that Regal Robots doing that because they're going into the archives all the time. And so I'm sure they're gonna scan the original. There's no way they're gonna.
Well, see, the only good original isn't in the archives anymore. It's in Dan Lanigan's collection. So he has the one. He has the one that I don't think I don't think I've seen the one with the eyes in a long time. But Dan Lenigan had the what's called the Belloc version. Is the one where he had that they could have been a stunt version, but
Yeah.
it's the only one. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen.
I didn't know there was multiple. I knew there's the open eyes and there's the closed eyes, right? Is that what
Yeah,
it
well, there's so they all had supposedly they all had eyes, glass eyes, but then they went and they took one of them and they actually had it vacuum formed with the glass eyes on it. So there's pictures where it looks like there's a pupil on it, but it's not. It's just like a reflection.
Mm,
And that's the one that Dan Lenigan I believe has,
gotcha.
because his eyes are actually glued in place. And but then the mouth, the turned down mouth, was never a thing. And the story behind that is supposedly when they did the Japanese exhibition, the curator of the exhibition wanted a copy. So Lucas has, again, this is all hearsay, but
Mm.
Lucas had them alter the sculpt so it wouldn't be a direct cast off the original.
Oh, okay.
So, but
Hmm.
who knows if that's real or not?
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what they're coming out. I know they're
I mean, he's bound to do it. I mean,
Rico,
that's.
I know
I mean,
Regal's announcing a new drop on the 20th. So
For
couple
indie or just in general?
for indie.
For
Yeah.
indie.
Hmm.
Are the premieres this next week, the 14th?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see it.
Yeah.
what
We'll
else
see.
comes? Something else comes out next week too, right? Oh, the Batman. Well, I mean, Flash.
Oh, the Flash. Yeah, I want to see that too.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry. Oh yeah, Jason said Dan also has the BR, but I'm assuming the Blade Runner
Yeah.
blast.
Yeah. He's got the original.
That's
Dan's
crazy.
collection is it's just sick.
so is he just a fan then?
No, he's a producer and director,
Hmm.
and just massive collector. I mean, the pieces he has like the original Ghost Busters pack, the blaster,
No shit.
tons of Indiana Jones stuff, whips and hats. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I saw a YouTube video where they interview him for, I don't know if it was like for the news or for something, and it's like you go underneath and it's all themed out, right? Like
yeah. Well, it's funny because he used to live up in Thousand Oaks, and then he just
oh
moved and bought a house. He's like somewhere else, like in Atlanta or something like that now.
yeah, damn,
Well, they're doing a lot of movies in Atlanta, right? I mean,
yeah,
Yeah. So
there's a
maybe.
lot of work going on there.
yeah. So that's your Terminator 2.
That's the Blitzway one. I waited. Was it 3.5 years? I think we waited for those to show up. I think.
Yeah,
How'd you get Arnold's signature?
yeah. How'd you?
So my buddy, he's also agent,
Mhm.
and Jeremy, and he messaged me. They were doing a meet and greet. I can't remember what con it was at,
Hmm.
but it was a meet and greet, and I was in work, so I couldn't go. I said, but I really want to get his autograph. It was a meet and greet, and he would sign something for you
Hmm.
for, I want to say it was probably $1,000.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, dude, if you can get this signed for me,
Yeah,
then you go do the meet and greet thing and just get me the plaque signed. So that's how that happened.
Hmm.
There was I think he did like 2 cons many years ago.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him sign anything.
yeah.
Yeah, he got one of the guys I worked with, he pre-ordered this and cancelled it because he got fed up of waiting. But I got him a plaque too, so he probably still has the plaque without
No
the
signature.
without the brain chip and everything else.
Oh, geez.
He
Was
doesn't have the props, yeah, because he got fed up of waiting. Right? It was 3.5 years we waited for those, but he has the signature plaque too.
that's cool, man.
Yeah,
Might have to hit him up and be like, "Hey, you want to sell that?"
yeah, but I know he wouldn't want to part with it for cheap.
I
don't
just
think
I
so.
just watched the Arnold documentary. Have you guys watched it yet? There's like this. It's like a multi-part series. It's actually pretty good. It's him actually telling you his whole story. Like
What's it on?
Netflix.
I think I think it was
Was it?
Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the making of Predator last night on YouTube. And Predator 2 come on. I didn't realize that guy that played the Predator, a big black dude, he died.
Yeah. Well, didn't he also? Is he not the same one that played the alien, or is that a different guy?
Ooh, they didn't mention anything about that. They just mentioned he was a Predator in Predator 1 and Predator 2. Except for the scene where he's fallen, where he cuts his arm off. That was actually a one-armed stunt guy that did that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
He's like 6'9" or something like that,
Oh,
right?
he's massive. He made Arnie look like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was made for that role, man.
Yeah, look at that. It's the best Back to the Future movie ever.
Yes. See?
Absolutely.
We're all aligned. We're all aligned here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael.
I should change the title of this show to Back to the Future Part 2. That's funny.
I can't find a good way to
don't I say
play that back.
I think don't I talk about that? Don't I say that? Let me see.
Yeah, you did mention
it has
it.
the self-tying laces, and of course you got Adam
right,
using up. Very cool. Oh, and the laces. It has the self-tying laces.
The art,
and of course you got an autograph plaque to go with it. And that's what I'm saying. He takes pieces and he takes the displays and again just elevates them with some type of kind of museum style.
I thought, don't I say something about that?
Yeah.
As you go down to the next one,
he is one of the best at displaying things, and he just does it in such a cool way. Here's some more Back to the Future pieces.
Right here.
Back to the Future Part 2, of course. We always joke around that I think Back to the Future Part 2 is the best. I think Lee agrees with me. Obviously, you could see by all the collectibles, but not everyone agrees. Obviously, Part 1 is amazing, and I'm not saying it's not, but I like Part 2.
You went down the rabbit hole over there.
I was waiting for some hate messages. So these are the
mags. They were from, I think the mags were from Electro Kicks on
Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean they're pretty damn good, man. I mean, $50,000 ones.
I had the 2011 original ones, and then when they put out these replicas, I bought 3 pairs of them and compared them to my originals, and they're 95% the same.
No shit.
Yeah. I'd say the only difference is the fabric, and there's maybe slight, softening of the lines of the sole or the midsole. But yeah.
Do you still have those, Brad?
No, dude. I sold those I bought them for $4,000, sold them for $6,500, and my son just last night he was like, "Dad, you should have kept those." I'm like, I should have, because they're like now 20-25 grand pretty easily.
Yeah, the power lace ones are 50 grand.
Oh, minimum, yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, the only thing about the power lace ones, the toe is really bulbous on the real ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they mess with the form or the silhouette of it.
No,
I know way too much about the Nike mags. It's sickening.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, Lee. Greg asks, do you have to turn everything on manually, or is everything on a switch?
Yeah, good question.
I'll show you now. Put me on the big screen.
All right, hold on.
Alexa, office off.
Okay.
Mine heard you.
Oh.
Alexa, office on. So,
dude, you're turning on my lights.
Yeah,
I shit you not.
Doesn't support that.
Alexa, office lights off. There we go. Yeah, so they're all connected to whose name we can't say. The whole house is like that. The whole house is sound controlled. So, and the shower too. No.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what we didn't show is the shower. Yeah, my Alexa response. Yeah, mine started responding, but Mine's named the Star Wars room. So like, if you were
Yeah,
to say,
mine's the office, and so I turn my one row off.
Well, it's funny because if I'm ever talking to Marcel, I gotta go pee or something.
Mhm.
He will be say her name and say like play gay 80s music, and then I'm just laughing because I can hear it as soon as I step out the room.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man, you got
So
your
those two chicks. So that originally that's from Tron Legacy. That um, display
Those ladies
thing.
must be cold.
yeah.
Oh, I keep them warm.
I bet you do.
What a
But
perv.
that was originally from Tron. It's what's the name? Chorus symbol, right? One of the ISOs.
Right, the IOs. Yeah.
And that I try to do that display, and those helmets are just so freaking dark. You can't even see them. They just didn't display well. So that's I ended up putting those two girls in there, and those are from that anime movie on Netflix called Gantz O. It's actually a pretty good anime.
Yeah.
I'm
Nothing to
surprised you haven't
do,
gone down to Florida and ridden the ride.
dude. I wanted to go to the one in Tokyo, but it rained the day we was going to go to Disney.
Hmm.
That's not from Queen Studios either, Gabe. That's from
Oh, it's
Beast Kingdom. That's from Beast Kingdom. It's only like $200.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the Queen Studios one.
The Queen Studios one is white, right? It's like a marble kind of looking. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. This is the cheap version.
I mean, that's still freaking cool.
That's cool.
And what do you
No,
think it's
This
like?
one came out before the Queen Studios one, and yeah, because I think
That is
David's got all three of them, right? Doesn't he have all three of those?
Yeah. But what size do you think this is? Quarter scale?
Let me compare it. It's the same size as that Ahsoka. And that's what is that? What
Premium
size
format?
is the premium format?
Yeah, it's
What is
quarter.
that? Is it quarter scale? Yes, exactly the same size, pretty much. Well, maybe an inch shorter, but she's got that base on her too, right? So, yeah, I like it, man. It's a moody piece,
Yeah. I like it.
and those I think both of those are from Blitzway, the Stan and the Bruce Lee. You can't capture how good the sculpts look on him or Stan's. I mean, they are really good. That was for the anniversary. That one was.
Man.
I guess I turned Sean Stone's TV off and so that's from Philip Robinson. That's not staying in there. I'm actually going to put it on a mannequin and try and reproduce the life-size version of that legendary scale one I got. So that's the plan anyway.
Yeah.
Is that new one that just came out, the MYC?
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to pay him for the blockade runner too. I just got the email for that. So I got to, if Michael's watching, Michael, I'll shoot you the money tonight or tomorrow for that blockade runner.
Yeah.
And then there's apparently me.
Yeah, let me see. What do I say there? Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah, you went on a rabbit hole by here. I was like,
Very
wait, what?
mischievous little characters, and that's kind of honestly that's how Lee is in the community. He's just kind of, he's a little bit of a little troublemaker here and there, but that's what I respect about Lee is that he speaks his mind. He is always going to tell you the truth. He's not going to candy coat it. And some people don't appreciate that style.
Got it. Yeah. Just yeah. No softy talk over there about Lee's.
Well, you only piss off the people that don't want to hear the truth, typically.
Yeah,
it's true.
Well, the thing is, I work in a very brash industry, right? I mean, for a long time, and there's no bullshit, right? I mean, you can't, man. So, I'm very accustomed to being very straight up because you have to be when you work on a giant bomb.
Is that a Lost Boys poster behind that?
Yeah, foil one. It's beautiful. It's It's a shame it's right there. Once I get my laundry room all done, it's going in there because when the light hits that, oh man, that red is so cool.
Well, have you seen the guy who makes the replica Marco jackets?
The what?
The replica jackets that like Marco, the guy in the movie, not David, the main character, but he's
Yeah.
all the patches on his jacket and stuff like that. There's a guy in the
What?
RPF that
The one
made
that
it. Replica.
really Death by Stereo.
Yeah, Death by Stereo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Marco, right? That's the one. No,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
No, that was what's his name says it about him.
Isn't that, is it him or is it
Corey
the one
Haim says
with the bath water?
Yeah, Corey Haim says, yeah.
Yeah, Death by Stereo because he shoots him through the jukebox.
Yeah.
Is that one or the other guy that they get with the garlic in the bath? I can't remember if that one's Marco or not.
No, Marco's basically it's Bill from Bill and Ted.
God.
Or Ted. I guess he's Ted.
Oh yeah, that's the first
short guy.
Yeah.
Got it.
Actually, Prop Store just sold a bunch of their all their jackets, their stunt jackets. Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy here in Orange County that just bought them. He just put up a video. His name's Sean Clark. He goes by Malfunction on YouTube. And he just bought David's jacket, Marco's jacket, and then the other two guys, I forget their names.
No shit.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Prop Store, Gabe, are you coming up for the preview night?
Yeah, I saw your comment on there. I don't. It depends, right? It all depends with just work and every week's a little different. I won't know until until later.
Yeah, what did they sell for those 4 jackets as a collection?
115 grand.
Oh,
yeah.
For the whole collection, or
yeah, for all 4. Then I guess Prop Store didn't want to give him. Well, they were going to they sent him 1 COA for all 4, and then he goes, "No, I want 1 COA per." And they go, "Fine. So what we need you to do is either send back that COA and we'll send you the 4, or send us proof that you destroyed it." So he put it through his shredder, and before he took a photo of it, it was one of the shredders that not just does the strips, but like chops it.
Yeah.
And he hit record on his phone, or so he thought, and he didn't record.
Oh no!
So then he scooped out what he could off the top of his of the shredding leftovers, and they wouldn't take it. They said no. Yeah, so he sent every single piece of shredded material in his shredder to them because he said also you could ship it back, and so he should, and they still wouldn't. They still wouldn't do it.
Why? Are you kidding?
Yeah, it kind of sucks. So he spent 115 grand on these. So luckily, I guess he got in touch with the guy who consigned them through Prop Store, and he's going to get COAs from that guy about them. But
wow, that's really surprising. I mean, I get it. Like they're trying to be like extra protective about their
because you think about it, someone could probably make if you had a Prop Store COA.
Yeah.
And you just came upon, lookalike jackets. I mean, and not that this guy would ever do this. He's a pretty, reputable collector.
Yeah. So this guy well, Brad?
No, I've never met him. He lives in Orange County, but what he does is that for a living is he's kind of like an agent for people doing signings. His name's Sean Clark. He's a pretty popular guy on YouTube, but his collection's sick. Dude, he has Tron stuff. He's a big horror collector. Yeah, really fantastic collection.
Man, I'd love to see those jackets. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. There's so many collections out there, like like on the Facebook groups, like the movie prop Facebook groups, that I'm just like, man, that's just insane. Like
well,
and that's the stuff that they put out there, like in public. Like I've had conversations because I ended up getting through one of those collectors, one of the screen use, the timers from Captain America, the first Avenger. Remember the Hydra? They're blowing them up. There's the little timers, and they're pushing the buttons to like blow up the plant. So I had one of those, and I was selling it to one of these collectors, and he was sending me pictures of his stuff. He's like, obviously, please don't
Yeah.
show, don't show it. And
Right.
I'm just like, holy shit, like, what the hell, like.
With the people that collect screen used, I still have a couple screen used items, but like if when you get into like the latex things, it's like I would never buy anything foam latex,
No.
that was screen used. Only if it's metal, even paper, like those things can deteriorate so easily. Yeah, I bought it was a cheap, like $100. It was the Riley Poole book from National Treasure. It's one that sits on the on the table, and within I don't know a couple months it faded. And it's not even in direct sunlight, so it's just like those things. I'd be scared to hell to have something worth say over $5,000 in my collection that you just don't know if it's gonna survive or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and especially the prices, I think that's what Jason's saying. Like, I mean, the prices are insane. I mean, even just in the last 3 years, like it is
COVID sent it through the roof, right?
crazy.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Well, the same with like the vintage action figure market. People started they were speculating. They're basically just throwing in money to kind of hedge their bets off of like the stock market, and that's kind of what they did with the props.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because it's kind of not dying down, right? Like, I mean, even just the last few auctions.
What do you guys think that Leia dress is going to go for?
Ooh.
Well, they're estimating 1.5 to 2.
Yeah,
I bet you it's going to break
more
2
than
million.
that. Yeah,
I'll probably say it's probably going to get to the threes because
I agree.
Because remember the X-wing, right? What it 2.3? 2.3, yeah, and that's just like back
model.
Yeah. Now, is it correct that this dress was lost? Like they didn't know where it was for years, right?
That's what I'm understanding from some of the articles that I've seen. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy though.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, I could have sworn I've seen that dress.
You have a Celebration.
Was it Celebration?
They added a Celebration in Florida just after she died. Because I got a picture of that dress and Chewie's like up against the glass like this.
Oh man,
yeah, it's an awesome picture. I mean, it's somewhere. It should be in my phone.
No, but I'm saying because I know I have a picture of it from when there was that traveling museum that was going around, and remember when a few years, well, I guess not a few years ago now, like 2000 and
the Magic of the Myth.
Yeah, the Magic of the Myth. But remember when it stopped right there at what's that one museum with the big giant square?
The Cube. The Cube. Yeah.
Remember it stopped there for, I mean, it had to have been 2008, 2009, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, and I could have sworn it was there. I think I have a picture with it. So I don't know if it's the same one or maybe
2017 was the Celebration in Florida.
Yeah, no, this one was
before.
Let me pull it up because I know I had to.
Maybe I wonder if it was a replica then. Maybe they had on just.
Well, it was in a pretty substantial glass case.
No, I'm talking about when Gabe saw it back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean it might be. Let me see. Let me find the picture because I know
I mean, supposedly this one is screen matched, which is maybe
Yeah.
Maybe that the one they had on was something else or a backup or.
I think more than 3 million, don't you? I mean, if that X-wing can go for that money, I mean, how many more iconic dresses are there?
Yeah. Well, I wonder, is the belt original to it as well?
Oh, I don't know.
Sure.
That's a good question. Let's see. I haven't signed up for or I didn't get the catalog this time.
Yeah, I mean, there's other than that, there's a few other decent pieces, but nothing. I mean, there's Indiana Jones 45 Smith & Wesson that they're selling, the Bat Pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be up there at the Peterson.
So the auction is in LA then, Brad?
Yeah, it's on the 3rd, I think it's the 28th or 29th or something like that. So they're having a preview night at the Peterson Auto Museum,
Oh,
which is where they have all the high end. Well, they actually have the A car, the back to the DeLorean.
Can anybody go to that then, or is it like
So-
kind of invite only?
Yeah, they had it on an Eventbrite. So I know like Art Andrews, who's the owner of the RPF. He's a good friend of mine, and he works for Prop Store now. So he had given me a heads up about it, and then I sent the link to David. I think David Boudreau signed up for it as well.
yeah.
It's really close to him.
I actually can't show it because my Chrome needs to do some update, so I can't show it. Sorry, guys.
Oh, the picture of the dress. So do you actually have the picture? Is it the dress?
No, the one that Lee sent me. I mean, it looks like it, and it's from Prop Store, which is
Yeah, it is.
yeah. But I mean, there you okay, there you go. Here, let me blow you up here.
Yeah.
Sorry
I
about
mean,
the
it could be. It might be in what's his name's collection. Who's the owner of Prop Store? There's Brandon and the English gentleman. He has a
The
huge
other prop.
collection.
Yeah.
So it might be his personal collection that he's selling.
Yeah. I mean, that is one. I mean, it has to go up for. I definitely think it's going to hit 3 million. I mean, that's just.
I'd say more than that, dude. I mean, if that Pyro X-wing can go for 2.2,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You would think that Lucasfilm would be bidding on them too.
Especially with the museum that yeah. Well, I wonder how it got out of Lucasfilm.
yeah, shit. I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with like all the first right, like from A New Hope, all that stuff. They didn't have the archive set up, so a lot of times they didn't want to bring it back or like
True.
just almost tossed it. Right, most of the stuff just got scrapped. So and a lot of it was rented, right, from like the costume shops and the props.
Yeah, from Nathan and Berman's and
Yeah. So I mean, who knows where they ended up getting that?
That was all shot in L Street, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that last ceremonial scene,
The
but
ceremony we'll see. Yeah, it would have been filmed.
probably yeah, Nelson.
Yeah, because it's a huge soundstage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets is I was at San Diego Comic-Con 2008, and I saw Carrie Fisher just sitting by herself in the corner, just no one talking to her, and she was just sitting there in kind of like one of those high, tall director chairs.
Mhm.
I want to say it was around the prop. I don't think it was a prop store because they weren't big, but it was a prop display area, and she was just sitting there, and I I didn't want to fanboy. I didn't want to go over and bother her, but I kicked myself every single time. It's like I should have just gone over and just said something to her. I didn't. I was just like, so I wanted to leave her alone and not, do that. But I was just like, damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, Star Wars took a. I mean, it died off then, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah. It was like nothing really was happening,
yeah, because even after the whole prequel hype, which man, I'm gonna update because I want to show Brad's on. We gotta show this-
Oh shit.
Hold on, I'll be
Brad's rat tail.
My rat tail, well, which was a fake rat tail. It was,
you guys chat. I'm gonna update my thing so I could.
yeah. Do that.
I thought you would have clipped it to your hat tonight or something, Brad.
Yeah. So, well, like, yeah, it's not gonna stick.
Well, you could have clipped it to your hat right at the back.
just walk around with a Jedi braid. Yeah, well, people see what you're.
Do you still have it?
No shit, no. I think I threw that out. The funny thing is like, so you can't really see in the photos, which Gabe will show in a minute, but my buddy who I went with, he looks a lot like Liam Neeson, but he's literally like 5'5". So I'm almost 6'1", and then he's 5'5". So it was like he looked like Liam Neeson, but just shrunk.
Right.
It's just the funniest thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Was that at the Chinese theater then?
Yeah, that was a Chinese theater. Yeah. Yeah, I waited. We had midnight tickets, and then we had 3 a.m. tickets as well. So
Did you go back for the 3 a.m.?
No. After I saw it the first time, Yeah, I was kind
I
of like, there's actually a video of me out there being interviewed right after that, and I don't say anything about the movie. All I say is that when the Lucasfilm logo comes on, it was pandemonium. Everyone just went wild, and I didn't say anything good about the film. Even then, I knew I was just disappointed.
oh yeah, because it was we didn't have we wasn't the I was still living back home back then, and it was like six of us, and we got a minibus they call it. It's like a big cab that sits like eight people, like a little minivan.
Yeah.
Took it there, and it was a Virgin had movie theaters back then, and they had the Premier Lounge, and they had its own bar and all this kind of
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool.
We was pretty excited to go to the premiere, and it was just like,
Like I found that
Oh, wow.
picture. So
So what year is that, Gabe?
it looks like it's 2012.
Huh.
I
But
wonder if that's a replica, Gabe.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, like, it doesn't lay correctly. I mean, I wonder if it looks like it's a replica. Because like if you look at the one that's for on the prop store, it's really thin material.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
Call up the one I sent you, Gabe. You can see the difference. I mean, it's like nothing material, right?
yeah, and it might have been right. Like
Well,
for this
it
night.
also isn't. It's a different dress, though, isn't it? From the Tanev
Oh, that's
dress.
right. It is a different.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the.
that's the one they rescue her in.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
It's the only change that she says that she had, and they were both white dresses.
Yeah.
And they don't have bras in outer space.
Yeah. Thank you, Lucas.
Oh yeah, it's totally different. Yeah, it like has a cape almost here. Let me
Yeah.
put in preview. Here we go.
Gabe, did you see episode 1 on opening night?
Yeah, so I was working at a movie theater when that happened. I think I was a senior in high school, and when it my manager, I think he told me like the night before, like I was closing, and he was like, hey, we're gonna do like a special preview for the employees, because there's already a line, right? Like at that movie theater, people are already camping out. So the next day I had school, and I was like, no, fuck X, I'm not gonna go to like, so I ditched school to go watch episode 1. And yeah, it was kind of cool because we cut the line, right? Like we got to see it before anyone else. And it was just one of those things where like I watched it, I came out, and I was like,
Disappointed.
what did I? Well, I was
What
confused.
has happened?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
did I miss something? Like I was so excited, I was so hyped up about it, and I walked out like, I gotta watch that again because I don't know, man. Like something, I must have missed something because
You didn't get the underpinnings of a trade federation,
Oh, I mean the lower the Gungams, like I mean that whole situation was just like, man, I was just so bummed
Space
out.
blockade.
And I literally watched that movie probably another like 20 times because again, I was working there, so I could watch it whenever I wanted. I watched it probably like at least 15, 20 times, and then I would like time it right. I would look at like the schedule for the movie, and I would time exactly like right when the doors open, where it's like Darth Maul would come out. Yeah, and I would go in there just to watch that scene. So that scene I'd probably watched 50, 60. I mean,
The only good part of that entire movie was
yeah, that was my favorite part. I was like,
Well,
man.
and supposedly that was like the first time a lot of the crew saw, or the Jedi saw Darth Maul. Is from what the interviews is the first time when they see, Darth Maul is when that actually opens. I think Ewan McGregor says it, but
yeah. I mean, that just visually, that's such a cool, like, and with the music, it's like the first time you hear that Duel of Fates, like,
Duel of Fates, so good.
that is the best thing I think out of like the whole prequel thing. Like the Duel of Fates song is just such an epic. Like I still like I hear it, I'm like, ooh, fuck yeah! Like it gets me all pumped up.
That's why when Obi-Wan the show came out and that music came on, it was Duel of the Fates. It's like,
right.
shit, Maul is back.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. I mean, that to me that's his music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me bring up Brad here since.
Yeah. Well, so the funny thing is, I was working at a restaurant in West LA when episode 1 came out, and we'd heard, my buddy and I, who were huge Star Wars collectors, toys, got a job at KB Toys just so we could get first crack at episode 1 figures.
Well played, sir.
And
Look at that. Look
yeah,
at
that's
that
me.
baby face.
So that's at the Man's Chinese Theater, midnight showing.
Yeah.
Waited in line overnight. I made my robes,
Wow.
Grew his own rat tail, Gabe.
Well, I mean,
So Lee was asking. So that was a toy that you could actually buy. You could buy the Jedi braid, and so I bought it and then actually braided it when I actually had hair.
Dude, I mean, I honestly, like, I think everyone got caught up in the hype. Like, I mean,
I mean,
such a great marketing. Yeah, it was everywhere, right? Pepsi, Taco Bell, Burger King, like Newsweek. I recently just found some, like, the Newsweek magazine. Remember when that came out?
Oh yeah.
The
Was it the Newsweek, or was it the Fran Lebowitz one that she did for? She did that whole spread on. It was like a big photo shoot with the whole cast and stuff.
No, I have the Newsweek is the one that I found that I had recently. The Newsweek, and I had just a bunch of like promo material that I had just been stocking up on collecting. But yeah, I got super caught up in the prequels. Like, well, I mean, right before this one, right? And then again, was it the following year or 2 years later when episode 2 came out? I was still working at the movie theater. Or it had to be.
There's that. That's the braid I'm wearing.
Oh, let me see. Hold on,
you can still buy them on eBay.
Oh, that's funny.
$14. What
There
a deal.
Yeah. So then episode 2 came out, and I was like, all right, now it's gonna get good, like, and then I walked out like, what like,
so Gabe, go back to that with the photo before, the one of just how that has an arrow pointing to me.
Yeah.
So that's a screen grab from the DVD extras, the one right before that. That's from on episode 1 DVD's extras. That's it's literally like a second. And I was like just watching it one time, and I was like, what? I actually made it onto the extras DVD.
It's a Star Wars movie, Brad.
Like, I'm not going to do any autographs. If I do, it'll
you're a Jedi in a Star Wars movie. I mean, not a false statement.
With a rat tail.
With a rat tail.
Oh no.
You could be rat tail guy.
Yeah, it'd be have to some weird Jedi name.
Oh man. But yeah, man. So, but honestly, when I watched episode 3, that one, I was like, all right, like I like this one. Like, this one was good. And I was kind of satisfied with that one. I was like, well, it is what it is.
Except for one line.
Oh, the no.
Yeah. They redeemed themselves all the way to the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what's interesting is I think, Gabe, maybe you're the same way, but I showed my kids episodes 4, 5, and 6 first.
Yeah.
Then they watched the prequels later on, probably even like a few years after they watched 4, 5, and 6. They still like the prequels better.
Yeah.
Lucas was on to something that just didn't tap into our childhood, our brains, but they like those better. And I'm like, how the hell can you like those better?
Yeah. No, my kids, I started actually backward. I started Return of the Jedi, and
how you saw it.
Yeah, I got them hooked on Return of the Jedi. Like, they know the lines, like they know the scenes. And then I went backwards. I was like, okay, now here's Empire Strikes Back. And again, Empire Strikes Back, they're not really, they like the Hoth scene.
Why did you do it that way?
Because
that's how he saw it.
Yeah, that's how I learned it. Because Return of the Jedi is just, for me, that's very attractive. Like, just visually, right? It starts off with the Darth Vader, and then Jabba's palace, and then the Endor scene, right? So it's like, I don't know. There's just a lot to see.
Jedi is a very underrated movie. I didn't appreciate it until a friend of mine was telling me, and he said, just think about the story and how the Emperor planned the entire movie. He planned the whole thing to capture the rebels,
Yeah.
and it's like it's pretty cool when you really start thinking about how complex that is, you
Yeah.
know, regardless of the teddy bears.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, see, and that's what we talked about before, right? Is that like, we saw the prequels as kind of, at least, grown up, right? Well, for me, I was probably what, 17 or something like that. But still, that's grown up. Like I saw those in a different light than Return of the Jedi, which is probably the way, if you're older, the people that saw Return of the Jedi probably saw it as like the prequels, right? Like there's for kids, right? Like
Well, think of all the backlash Hayden Christensen had after those movies.
Yeah.
And you see him when he shows up at Celebration now.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was awesome.
Wild. I mean, he's finally getting acceptance, right? Because for years they fucking trolled him, man. I mean, yeah, they hate
dude, him, Ahmed Best, like, I mean, those guys endured a bunch of just hate for no reason.
the little boy, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, what Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd.
He hasn't recovered from it.
Well, he has mental issues regardless. You know, I think he's diagnosed as schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's been in and out of treatment for years. Yeah, he and I actually have the same birthday, but it's sad because I'm sure it was exacerbated by the bullying and
because imagine having to go back to school after that. Like,
yeah. Well, dude, if you see on the DVD extras and how his parents, when he's signing, the contract to be in episode 1, you can totally see his parents are those stage parents that are just, just hoping for the Macaulay Culkin money.
Yeah,
that's tragic.
Yeah. So I started appreciating the prequels probably only a couple years ago because of the cartoons, because of Clone Wars. That's really the only time where I really started appreciating, like, oh, okay, like I get that. And Darth Maul, like, that's a badass character. Like, he has a storyline and he has, a bigger arch.
They shouldn't have killed him off in the movie, or that was
no.
Oh yeah, the cut in half thing.
Yeah.
Well, no one really ever dies, right? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Captain Kennedy says that or something.
I saw an interview with Ray, and they said for him to do that face, what he thought of when they chopped him his off was, he thought to himself, I would feel the morning after having an Indian curry. And that's the face he put on. That's
or
Ray
Taco
Park,
Bell.
That's Ray Park's shit face.
Yeah. I haven't seen him too often on social media recently. Yeah. There's a couple months ago he went
again.
Yeah, he's
wild.
That's a second time now. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
But yeah, well, I mean, again, we'll see. The one thing though that at least now we get to see is that we do see this huge other generation, right? That's, the millennial generation, right? That grew up on the prequels. Now they're huge Star Wars fans. We're gonna see that same thing again with the sequels, right? With like all the kids that 2016. That.
So, do you guys think that there's a chance that they're gonna reboot something, not the original, but like maybe like the prequels or something that's going to happen? Because Disney's losing money on this thing left and right.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't try to do something like that.
Well,
there's
the movie.
Well, remember they tried re-releasing them in 3D, remember? And then that was a big flop. They just did episode 1 in 3D and then the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if like Lucas had something in his contract where they couldn't, if they marketed anything with the original 4, 5, and 6, or even maybe the prequels, that they had to give him a larger portion or some sort of kickback, with it.
I think that was I don't know if it was an interview or somewhere that I heard that was part of the contract, that they can't touch them now, like as they are, like they have to leave them, which is kind of shitty because right before he sold, right, or like a few years before he sold, they did the Blu-ray editions, and then again they fucked them up some more, right, with
Yeah.
like the whole blinking of the Ewoks, and then the no at the end of Jedi where he picks up
Yeah.
the Emperor, and they
Well, and supposedly
dubbed it.
Yeah, in the National Archives, they don't have an original print of the movies. Like Lucas would not give them an original print,
Wow.
so they only have the special edition
Ugh,
prints.
yeah.
And it's
They would make a fortune if they put out
Dude.
the original edit.
Yeah.
But I seriously doubt they would do that. Just again, it sucks, but it's probably something like George Lucas had him agree.
Yeah, well, which is I wonder if why they don't do anything with the original trilogy really at the Disneyland or Disney World.
That'd be great if they changed the whole.
I think they will, man. With the closing of Star Cruiser, I think you're going to see them revamp Bantu into some sort of actual original trilogy.
Didn't we hear that a while back though, like a year or so ago? Right? I thought we heard that they were going to be like Mandalorian and
Well, I think just with the characters, they wanted to reintroduce a little bit more of the original, original cast. But what can you really do? You can't have. I mean, they have Rey walking around, but I don't know if you could have Leia or Han or Luke.
Yeah, I mean, instead of Kylo Ren, they could have Darth Vader walking around. I mean,
Right.
that's an easy one. Instead of those stormtroopers, the new stormtroopers,
New Order.
the older troopers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the stormtroopers just make sense. Like
It does, yeah. Dude, they have a sand trooper walking around,
right? Yeah.
Dude, turn the Olga's Cantina back into like the original cantina.
Yeah, and they even have the little droid, the little scanner in the front, the little T scanner.
Yep.
So I mean, it could work perfectly for that.
Well, Gabe, have you been up to Scum and Villainy in Hollywood?
I haven't. Every single time I go up there, it just for some reason
it's better than Olga's. I mean, especially on May the 4th or something like that. It's just packed. You go in, they have before you walk in, they have like one of those kind of star map planning things that's lit up, and it just feels so much more like Star Wars than Disneyland. It's crazy.
Yeah, my buddy Cosmo, he's always there. I think I don't know if he DJs or he kind of tends to be around there a lot. He just started this new podcast. Hi. So are you wearing? You're kind of like see-through.
Very sparkly.
What, do we have a recital tonight?
No, good night, baby. I love you.
Oh,
we had and that's why I was running like right on time when you guys were backstage, because one of my wife's aunts was retiring and it was her birthday. So she had this big, celebration, and my wife's like, "Hey, we have that party tonight." And I was like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, well, we got a show at 7. So then we were literally at the party, and it was just getting started. Like people were starting to get there and all that, and people are starting to get food. And I was like, it was like 6:30, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna take off. I'll be back in about like an hour and a half. And here we are.
Here we are 2 hours later.
Yeah. Now they just came home. So
yeah.
Brad,
Well, it's funny because go ahead, Lee.
Doesn't Kevin Smith do like his podcast from?
He did, yeah. The Fat Man with the Batman or something like that. Yeah, I think that was just during COVID, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't do it anymore. I think he moved out of LA. Actually, I think he, doesn't live up here anymore. But yeah, we should do that. That's the thing. We should like have a meetup there sometime.
Yeah.
I used to have a Vader costume, and I put it on a couple times. Went up there with my buddy who has a nice Fett, and if you go in, like even if it's packed and you're dressed like in some sort of they'll let you in.
Oh, really? That's like their thing.
Yeah, you don't even have to wait in line. Because it's been a couple years since I've been up, but I know it's like kind of dead some nights, but then other times it's just like it's completely packed.
I'm assuming the drinks are probably cheaper too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, and
No,
you can get anything. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like I was telling you, my friend Cosmo, he came to my house and did like a little interview for his YouTube show, and he's kind of like in a collaboration, I guess, with Scum and Villainy, and he has like a segment where it's like the bartender showing like how they make their drinks or whatever, like whatever specialty drink they have there. But yeah, no, I definitely I gotta check it out. There's been a couple times that I visit David, and every single time I'm like, man, I want to go, but it's always,
Yeah,
usually it's daytime, right? So it's
yeah. Wow. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
yeah,
And David, yeah, I think he just lives down the street from there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there, man. So yeah, we gotta do that. We'll probably be up in LA in a couple weeks or within the next couple weeks, because I know my kid's been wanting to go to the new Mario World. So
I went.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Yeah.
underwhelming, but
Yeah.
But
yeah, your kids will like it. Your kids will like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be getting a season pass for that too.
Well, we have a season.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can't really pass it up. I mean, we bought our kids season passes for this summer so we can just drive them up, because they're 15 and 14. We can just drop them off and they can hang out for a few hours.
And it's like the deal is like freaking great. Like the cost of the ticket, and then you just pay maybe like an extra $60 or something like that, and then it's like you got the rest of the year. So
yeah,
it's a good. Although I heard that it's worth getting kind of the front of the line passes or whatever, like
for
Universal Studios in general. Like,
well, yeah, we were just there 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I mean, yeah, I'd say the longest thing we waited for was the Mummy ride, and that was maybe an hour, maybe. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like they just don't have a lot of rides. You know, they're putting in a Fast and Furious roller coaster kind of ride. But
they usually close kind of early too, right? They close the park like 7.
It was like 9. I think they closed. But because they're also trying to keep certain elements out, they don't all the teens up there. It's kind of like what they do with Knott's Berry Farm. Now Knott's Berry Farm, you can't be under 18 without a chaperone.
Oh, I'm sure they're probably doing that with Six Flags as well, right? Like,
I'm sure, yeah.
Is that because the kids are getting too rowdy or what?
Yeah, well, especially like at Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags, they're not as controlled as Disneyland and Universal. Like Disneyland's like hardcore. You can't get away with anything there. Six Flags, well, Knott's Berry Farm it's by Disneyland, but it's in the lesser nice area of Anaheim. I guess like what Buena Vista Park or something like that, and it's just the kids that would go there they're not there to really ride rides. Then they're causing kind of chaos, and again the rides are like more extreme. You don't have real kiddie rides there. So.
Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of like news articles. They're like, oh, a fight broke out at Six Flags, and this teenager like gang fight. And that's like,
Jesus, man.
Yeah, the ones you have at Disneyland are the ones that are hitting each other with like bags and stuff. The ones at Six Flags, they actually have weapons.
Yeah. Like probably sneaking in some guns or something. Yeah. Well, I remember when because I went to school like middle school time in elementary school in San Jose, in Northern California, and it was Great America, but it's the same thing, right? And they had like Top Gun ride, which down here it was the Batman ride, right? But up there it was Top Gun, and then they had anyways, it was kind of very similar type of park. And as a middle school kid, we would go. And we had our season pass, and we went there to try to look for like girls to make out with, and like we would we would, I do drugs, and like I was like,
no,
like it was crazy. It was like a free for all there, man. It was pretty insane. Everyone was like stealing little things from all the store. It was
Just being a stupid teenager.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
pretty chaotic.
Why wasn't he surfing and skateboarding? That's the question I got.
The what?
Why wasn't he surfing and skateboarding? I mean,
I skated. I did.
yeah, but I mean, theme parks would have been the last thing on my mind at that age.
Oh no, that was like our summer thing, and that's what Brad's saying. Like during the summer, like that's if you're near a theme park, I mean that's like the thing to do, and especially up there around that time, like it was super cheap. I think it was like $100, something like that for the whole season.
Summer.
Yeah, for the whole summer. So me and my buddies would just go and we'd grab the little trolley that would take us there, and we'd go to
Do they have no big water parks in California though?
Yeah, Raging Waters is over in San Dimas, which I went for the first time and was super disappointed with that place.
Yeah.
It was like packed in the talk about front of the line passes. It was like an hour and a half wait to get on just one slide. It was
No
ridiculous.
shit.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Eric knows. Yeah, he's from the Bay Area.
Gangster convention.
Yeah, he remembers. Well, I remember it was 93 or 94. There was they always had like the hot summer jam concerts. It was like 97.7 hot summer jam, and they would have these huge rap concerts there at Great America, and I got to see like the Notorious B.I.G. with the Junior Mafia. All these.
That's a good idea.
Right, all these like rap. I'm telling you, it was like nothing.
Wait, did they have like bat night where they handed out like 9mm?
Right? Yeah. No, it really was like that. There was everyone was like little gangsters. Like even myself. Funny enough, like because of the friends that I hung out with, I would go and dressed up in my like Ben Davis, like oversized, like butterfly Ben Davis pants with my Cortezes and like a white shirt with the wife beater underneath, hair slicked all back. Yeah, oh no, it was.
Did you rock the hairnet too, Gabe?
Did I rock what?
The hairnet?
The hairnet, not in public, but at night I would. Heck yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. To try to train my hair to slick back. No, I mean, because it was that time, right? I think around like 92 through 95. It was like
right after Colors came out.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Colors.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Yeah. And this is so funny that we're having this conversation because I just talked to Jens, out of all people, and he just met Miklo from Blood In, Blood Out, which he's like the blonde guy, like the light. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's like a straight up like gangster cholo movie.
I have never watched Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah. So and I was talking to him on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, I grew up watching those." I was like, "Me too, man! Like Blood In, Blood Out, freaking Boys in the Hood, because those were like I was in middle school when those came out, so like we were like, oh man, that's so cool, and like the Lowriders and the 64 Impalas, I'm like,
Colors is awesome, man. That's probably my favorite
because
of Ice-T's song, right? That was
that was huge.
Awesome.
Yeah, I remember when Boys in the Hood came out, and you heard like people were like going, there were shootings in the theater and stuff like that, and it's like Boys in the Hood is a pretty tame movie. It's not, it's more of a just a life story of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s, but it's not like as gang related as Colors was.
Yeah,
right, great movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and again, that's the same, but like Blood In, Blood Out was more just like of like the Mexican gangs, right? Like, so obviously
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, pretty much Colors.
You call everybody essay.
Yeah, it was. It was like they have their tattoos.
Yeah,
talk about like the
teardrop.
The prison life and like the politics in the prison. It's actually a good movie. But anyways, funny enough, I was talking to Jens because he met that guy Miklo, and they became like friends. Like they changed phone numbers, and I saw he posted something. I was like, "What? You're friends with Miklo?" And then I got on the phone with Jens, and Jens was like, "Yeah," and he started like talking.
Yes,
He's like, "Yeah, what do you
gangster?"
Yeah, vato, like no, it's Simon, or like I forgot what Jens said, but yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." Jens knows what's up. And it's funny because obviously Jens from from Germany, and he has that, he has a German accent, but like he was all about the, those gangster movies. And I'm
Dude,
like,
I've driven through. I drove. I was because I'm in real estate, so I was showing a condo, and I took a wrong turn, and I drove down a street, and I looked around. I'm like, I know this street. I've been here before. And what it was is, I don't know if you remember in Training Day when they go to that dead end street where
Mhm.
Denzel's baby
I'm
mama
getting
lives.
caught up in you.
Yeah, and it was that street, but
No shit.
yeah, and I'm like, I because it's a dead end street and it's all lined with apartments. And
Mhm.
the funny thing is, it's not in a very bad area.
Yeah.
They just made it look
Right.
worse in the movie, but it literally was like it snapped in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap! Like it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like
Yeah.
this is, you know,
Yeah, that's where they finally ganged up on him, right? Because
yeah,
that's where
yeah,
his woman lived, his baby mama.
Well,
yeah,
we lived in LA for about 3 years when my wife went to law school at USC, and we lived on Sunset, like literally
yeah.
like right there, like Sunset in the 101, like in front of the old KTLA
Oh
studios.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The tower. Yeah,
Yeah, now it's Netflix, I think, right?
yeah.
So there's a big, like, it used to be a hotel called the Metropolitan Hotel. It was known because that's where Death Row Records would have their parties, like in the top. Well, anyways, they turned it into like condos and like apartment
Yeah.
complex. So we lived right there. But I've worked in the Valley, so I worked in Northridge, and then obviously my wife was going to school at basically South Central, right? That's where
Yeah.
USC is.
Yeah.
And one time I forgot I had to go to LAX for something, and the freeway was just, of course, typical LA freeways. So I got off and I was like, I'm just going to take the streets. Like, I'm going to figure it out. And at one point I was like super lost, and I pull out my phone and I look, and I'm like in the center, like literally it's like a T, and it's like, you know, freaking Inglewood, and
Like,
like it was just like all the roughest neighborhoods. And I'm over here like I have like a sound system in my, like, I had a red Mustang. I was like with my sound system all bumping, and I'm like, I like turned down the
turn it
music.
down. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
get back on the freeway.
Oh, there's so many times I've found myself on like going through there, just like you're saying, like you get off the freeway and then you don't really realize where you are, and then you start seeing like signs like Normandy
Yeah,
and Crenshaw,
yeah,
and I'm like, and then the cross streets are like 147th, and
yeah,
and you're like, you're not in any good
yeah,
area. Yeah.
yeah. You probably should get back on the freeway ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're looking for a hooker, then you're golden. So Lee, I mean, I'll
Uh,
hook you up.
Yeah, no.
yeah, yeah. But LA, I mean LA. The time that I was there, I guess I was so used to San Diego, and
Yeah.
San Diego is, it's kind of, it just feels just more
It's a
open.
it's a completely different vibe.
So I was having a tough time up there. I'm just like, man, like, why doesn't anyone let me turn left at a fucking light, man? Like,
Yeah.
wait to the yellow light to like take off. Like, why are people so rude? And like,
Dude,
I,
and well, that's gotten worse since the pandemic, man. People running red lights on the left. It'll be like 5 or 6 cars just going. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy.
so,
Yeah, so I live in Torrance, which is basically the South Bay. So anything south of LAX is complete. It's more similar to almost like Orange County. It's different than LA, even though we're in LA. It's just a different vibe. But when I moved to LA, I lived up on the West Side for 15 years before we moved down here. My wife's from the South Bay, so we're like, it's funny because it's like living outside the city without living outside the city.
Yeah.
I mean, David lives in the heart of Hollywood. I mean, he's
Yeah.
right there.
yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I couldn't do that.
Well, that was tough sometimes, because again, I lived probably about a mile away from
Yeah.
David, and I remember coming down on the 101 from Northridge, and I remember sometimes looking at like my map, right, like to see how long it was going to take me to get home, or if I knew I needed to get off the freeway to take the streets, and just like, I think it's like Hollywood, or like the one right before Hollywood, and then Sunset, just
Right.
those 3 exits. I was stuck in
Like
traffic
an hour.
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour just to
Yeah.
try to get off
Yeah.
just 3 exits away. So I'd be like, damn it. And so I'd get off like right there where Universal Studios is,
Yeah.
and I would kind of just take the
Yeah.
streets and
I
Yeah. The
think
that
it
101
would
is the
make
joke.
us look old, Brad, because when me and you was driving, we used MapQuest.
My wife still prints out MapQuest directions in case we don't have cell service.
that's smart.
And
That's
and it's actually saved our ass. I make fun of her like I'm like, babe, you can get MapQuest, and she's like, I already got them. And
no,
it's like, and there's been a couple of times, like when we drove up to Utah, we drove to the Grand Canyon. It's like, yeah, you hit some places and like, where are we supposed to turn?
yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, I don't know, like driving through LA, even still, like there's times it's just we see movie locations and you're like, holy shit, that's that's
Yeah.
where they filmed that. And it's just like just 2 blocks away from my house is Mark Wahlberg's house from Boogie Nights.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Shit.
yeah, Dirk Diggler's house is 2 blocks away from my house. And I didn't know it until I was running. I went for a run and I ran right past it. I'm like, I know that house. And sure enough, when we went back, pulled it up and
Yeah. Yeah, where I was working was maybe about 4 street lights. So I worked at Best Buy, right, for 11 years, and I transferred to the one in Northridge, and the Karate Kid apartment complex was literally a few street lights away, and I didn't know that until one day, like I forgot somebody at work told me, and I was like, wait, what? No, I'm going right now on my lunch break, and like I go and I'm taking pictures. I'm like, oh my god, that's right there's where Mr. Miyagi's like little shop would have been, and
But
that was
the pool still look like shit.
it looks
no,
exactly
the whole place looks almost identical. They haven't changed it at all, except for they changed the gate and stuff like that. But well, it's funny, like from being Back to the Future fans, I've lived in LA for almost 30 years, and I'd never gone up to see Lorraine's house and Biff Tannen's house and stuff like that until about 2 years ago. I finally just like it's like what 45 minutes from my house, and it's like I just never did it, or the ET house. I saw that, went up, saw that a couple of years ago, but it's just like you take them. You just I'll see it at some point, or I don't want to get on the freeway to go drive there.
That's definitely
told me when he comes, I'll take him around.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do one of these days. I definitely want to go see all the Back to the Future locations.
Dude, and the Lost Boys Bridge too, and Flynn's Arcade.
Yeah, that's just outside of LA. Yeah, it's crazy. The high school here, Torrance High, is 90210 high school. It's the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, high school.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, they haven't filmed anything in Wichita, Kansas.
Really?
Oh, wait a minute.
Wizard of Oz?
Yeah,
planes, and automobiles.
Oh, really?
Is it? Yeah.
Well, I think isn't it Wichita? It's the last train to Wichita.
Yeah, but they probably use Canada for that.
Twister,
no idea.
Right? It was in Twister there. No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I thought it. I could have sworn it. They talk about it, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
In a while.
Yeah, but there's. I mean, I can't help but point out the Die Hard building every time you drive past it because it's so it's so iconic. It's like right there. It's like.
Yeah, because that's the big kind of like circle one, right? Like
It's kind of like a star pattern.
Yeah,
you look at it from the top, but it's actually the Fox Plaza, which makes sense.
Right. Yeah. My wife actually worked there or I guess interned there when she was in law school. Right? Because isn't it the claim to fame is like it's the largest building before like the Empire State Building or something like that, like right, or like on the West Coast or something like that.
Not that one, no. But I mean, it's in Century City, so it's like if you're gonna kill all the lawyers, they're all in Century City. It's
okay,
yeah. But no, it's because it's not that big of a building. It's only like 30 stories. It's actually true to the movie.
I might be thinking the wrong. Yeah, the different one.
Yeah, the one downtown, which was the Bank of America building. That's probably
the largest one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, we gotta get Lee out here.
Yeah, I was supposed to come down for San Diego, but I'm still recovering from Japan, dude.
Yeah, Gabe, you're going to Comic-Con?
Yeah, I'll be there. hopefully, I think I've been talking to David to hopefully go with him on Wednesday for preview night because I didn't get preview night this year. I only got Thursday through Sunday. So hopefully we can make it work where he can kind of sneak me in with
What date is that, Gabe? San Diego.
July, right?
July 21st, I think, through the.
Because I booked the week off for it.
No.
Never say never, Brad. I still might be.
Yeah, I mean the problem is finding the tickets, though, right? That's the hard part.
So what?
Sometimes finding the passes, right? Although towards like once it gets closer, that's when
I might have a win on that.
My buddy he actually works for the Department of Defense, but they send him to Comic-Con every year to cover it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and so he stays on the base right there, and so he gets me. I haven't had to get tickets since like 2012 or something like that, but sometimes he can grab an extra ticket if I need it. So,
so you're gonna be down here then for sure.
So yeah, I mean I'm planning on it, and it's just a matter of if his schedule allows me to, because I kind of have to be at his whim. So
right.
Yeah,
you haven't gone for a couple of years, Brad, right?
Right. Yeah, I haven't been since I went 20. It was right before the pandemic. I went in 2019.
2019 was the last time I was
there. Yeah. It's just and Gabe, it's just kind of it's a shit show. I mean, it is. If you've gone once, you've gone every time. They haven't changed it.
Oh, no, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is crazy what Eric's saying. Yeah, like Sideshow pulling out of it.
Yeah,
crazy, man.
Well, because it costs so much.
Yeah.
They don't. Really? I mean, it costs them like probably $250,000 to display there.
And they're not selling anything, right?
Right.
The whole showcase and all of it is.
Yeah, Jazz Inc. is taking over everything and shit. I mean,
right. Yeah, and I mean that's the problem. Just in general in San Diego here, there's been all these talks about Comic-Con moving to LA because the convention center it can't accommodate so many people. They can't expand. They can't grow.
LA would be just as bad. I mean, it's just, if you go to Wonderfest or WonderCon or LA Comic-Con, they're nice because they're smaller conventions, but it's like what San Diego used to be.
Yeah.
It's like, it's easier to move around.
Yeah.
Of course, for the panel.
Best thing about Comic-Con.
Yeah.
The cosplay.
I would say hanging out with friends, man. When you meet up with people, like-minded people, and you can just, it's like being on Collection Wars, but like in person. And you're hanging out with just friends, and you can chat, and some of the parties are fun, but they're hard to get into.
And the cosplay girls.
Yeah.
Honestly, like walking the con with like people, like that's my favorite part. Like I don't usually go to the panels.
There's nothing to buy, right? Other than art, really, and then those like knick-knack things on the
all the exclusive crap that they put out to people go, and and there's people that just go just for that because they'll be able to hawk whatever their the exclusive stuff to pay for their tickets and pay for their room and stuff.
Well, you see those kids with those Funko bags. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah. I've like Gabe. I've never been to a panel either. I've never even bought anything from Comic-Con.
Only art prints is all I've ever bought.
Yeah, and I think that the whole panel thing too is kind of it's died down, right? Like it was like the big Hall H, right? That was like the big
Hall H,
where all the new movies were gonna get announced and like all the celebrities were gonna be there. But honestly, like the last, 3, obviously 2020 didn't happen, but then they did the special edition one, and then the last 2.
We had all the big Marvel drops for a long.
That's what I'm saying. There's not been any Star Wars drops.
Yeah,
no Marvel drops. Like no big. It's usually like the WB or like Warner Brothers like announcing some new show or some
show. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big.
Well, and you waste a day and a half sitting in line for it, just to get in. And it's like, why would you do that if you're down there? I mean, I think another fun thing is just walking around the Gaslamp district. It's like, at night. That's because it's cool because like that's where all the bars are open and people are spilling out into the streets and they close off all the streets and you take pedicabs everywhere and
Yeah.
but yeah.
What's that burger place, Gabe? The one, Slater's 50/50. You ever been there, Brad? It's
No.
outside of downtown area. You got to get a cab there, but they do.
Yeah.
It's the hamburgers are 50% bacon, 50% beef.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a good place.
Well, I mean, most of the people that go to Comic Cons are really fit.
Yeah, cosplay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then across the street from the convention center, kind of like diagonally, is the Top Gun bar, right? Where
Right.
the famous scene. What was it called? Not Max's Barbecue, but I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it might be Max's Barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been in there. Yeah.
Or something.
Really?
Barbecue. Yeah. It's like that the scene where it's like you've lost the loving feeling, like the piano.
Yeah.
Scene.
I think
Right across.
but the bathroom is at a different
playing the
location.
piano. That's Great Balls of Fire.
No, it's the you lost the love and feeling. Yeah,
Okay,
you're right,
right.
Lee, but yeah, it's when she,
Karaoke thing.
when
Yeah,
he's
sorry.
singing.
Yeah, they're not playing the piano. Yeah, he's just
Okay.
saying. No.
No shit, that's there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right across the street from him. Yeah. Well, in fact, when they filmed the new Top Gun, they were filming it here in San Diego too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
a big.
was Penny Benjamin's bar in round there then? Because it looked like it was on the waterfront, right? Because they toss him out onto the
Yeah.
sand.
I don't know. Was it that in San Diego?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. I'd have to look it up. I just know that one just because every time you walk by it, it's like Top Gun was filmed here. Like there's like all these
How
little.
the hell did I miss that? I've been, I think 2 or 3 years I went to San Diego consecutively. Fuck, I missed. I'd love to go in there.
Yeah.
I bet it's
Yeah,
probably a ridiculous line to get in, though, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure at
Right.
during Comic-Con, yeah, but normally
Yeah.
it's not like super crazy. Yeah.
You can make a killing just selling deodorant at Comic Con.
There's a lot of sweaties
Oh,
that go down
man.
to it.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It
Yeah.
can be
By
bad.
day 3 is pretty ripe. I mean, what's wrong with these people? They don't want to shower or what?
Well, they spend all day out. Like, I mean, San Diego in July can be pretty dang hot.
Yeah,
It's in the high 80s. And then if you're wearing anything other than just a t-shirt,
Yeah.
and a lot of people go to Comic-Con and they don't even go into the Comic-Con because they don't have tickets. You can hang outside Comic-Con and have just as much fun
Oh yeah.
than going into the hall.
Well, and a lot of businesses and a lot of like, the film companies realize that.
Yeah.
So there's all these experiences outside.
Yeah, you got that, behind the convention center, you'll have all like FX will be there and all those different
Across,
TV
you go
channels.
across the bridge, that whole parking lot gets filled, and then across the street, like by the gas lamp, all on the side gets all filled with studio stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Man, now I want to go.
yeah, man. Well, I don't know, man. I after hearing Sideshow, I mean, I know EFX is going to be there for sure. But other than that, I mean, who knows? I mean, the Star Wars section, I'm sure will be there. Although there's been talks about them also pulling out.
Well,
Star Wars
it
and
makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense for them not to go when they can just do Celebration.
D23.
D23. Yeah. That's one I've never gone to. Is D23.
Yeah. We've gone to the last two, and it's. I mean, we love it, man. It's.
Yeah. Did you get personal invites from Mickey himself?
Right, I wish, man. No, this last one was.
Oh boy!
Hey, Gabe, come on.
Yeah, there you go. No, this last one was crazy because my sister-in-law works for Pixar,
Nice.
and she's high up there, and like her name is in the credits and like the Pixar movies and stuff. And this year she was down, and she gave me like a an all access pass where I could go to the green room, like I could go all the way in the back in the green room, and or go into like the big panels, just literally walk in, like the security would just show my badge, and I'd walk
Like
in.
Wayne's World.
Yeah, it was literally like that, and I was like all scared. I'm like, what if they ask me? Like I'm all nervous. So I wanted to go to the Lucasfilm panel, right? Obviously, because I was like,
Yeah.
I have to get a good seat. I want to see everything up close. So she's like, yeah, that's fine. Just you could go in, just go and pick a seat. I'm like, all right, cool. So like I go in, I flash my badge, I go in. She walks with me because I even told her, I was like, I'm kind of nervous. Like, can you just walk with me? She's like, oh my God, like no one can say anything to you. Like, let's
Gabe, you're a big boy. You can do
yeah,
it.
she's like, all right, come on, let's go. So like we walked in there, like I said, like nothing. Like it was like I worked there, right? And so I didn't want to also be like rude to like and just grab like the front row, like front
Yeah.
seat. Cause I also that would look weird because people are still coming in. So then I like just grabbed some like kind of aisle middle seat and I like sat down and I was all nervous. I was like, okay, I'm here. I got a great seat. And then she leaves and then she texts me, right? And she's like, hey, are you sure you don't want to come back to the green room? I see a lot of like celebrities that you probably would recognize. And I was like, oh, like who? Who's there? And she's like, like Don Cheeto's back here. I see him right here. She's like, I'm right next to, and she's like trying to explain because she's not, she's not a big like Marvel or like Star Wars person. She's like, that character from, and she's trying to explain it. And I'm like, oh, it just sounds like a bunch of like Marvel characters. Like, like, I mean, it would be cool, but I don't want to lose this spot. Like this is a great spot for the Lucasfilm panel. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, I'm standing right next to, and this is as like all the crowds are kind of coming in and like starting to sit down. And she's like, Harrison Ford is right next to me.
Holy shit.
I was just like, what? I was like, I could have been back. I could have been right there, right next to it. And she's like, oh, and that kid from Indiana Jones, they just met right now. I just saw them. So she witnessed that moment where
Ki Hu Kwan,
where they took the picture.
Wow.
She was back there backstage. And I like, and I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe I missed Harrison Ford. But even then my mind started just going like, but what have I done? Like, there's no way I would have been up to him. I wouldn't have said hi. Like, there's just no way, right? Like, he would have
go like, smell him,
right? And like, who the fuck are you? And why are you in the green room? Like, I don't know. Like, just in my mind, I just started thinking, I'm like,
oh yeah, he's not a grumpy person at all, though.
Right? Yeah, right. So I was just like, probably the worst decision I've made in freaking decades.
Yeah, I back in the day, and when I first moved to LA in '95, I worked at Starbucks up in Brentwood, and I came in for work, like a 3:00 shift, and the people go, "Oh, Harrison Ford just left 15 minutes ago." And I was like, "God damn it!" I got to meet Spielberg and his wife, and what's the guy from Ghostbusters, Egon. He came. He was a regular. Yeah, and it's just like, but Harrison Ford's like that. He's so freaking elusive.
Yeah,
you can't find him anywhere.
Like George Lucas, right? Like,
yeah,
I gone here in town that Harrison Ford frequents.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because this is a big like light aircraft mecca in the country.
Oh yeah.
And he comes here every so many months to service his planes, and he
likes to crash those.
It's called the restaurant is called Sabor, and that's his spot whenever he comes to town.
That's cool. I did get to meet Lucas. That was the only.
Oh yeah, you didn't get him to sign your
two of my lightsabers. Yeah, and that was because I have a friend who's like a B-list or probably like a C-list celebrity, and she had tickets for this night with George Lucas at the Writers Guild, and this is like 2007 ish, and so I had my lightsabers right there, but I brought him with me in a backpack with a blue pen and a silver pen. And a guy I was sitting next to, I'm like, after he did his whole thing, it was like about an hour and a half or so. He was just talking about film and TV, about how he's transitioning in TV. And they announced like, Mr. Lucas is willing to stay around for 30 minutes to sign if you guys have anything you want signed. And I'm like, holy crap. It gave him one lightsaber. I took the other one. I'm like, you go on that side. I'm going to go on this side. And he got one signed and I got mine, signed, and he gave him back to me. And I'm like, I was so thrilled.
That's awesome.
That's
man.
cool, man. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing about LA is like, everyone hears all these stories about, like celebrities and stuff. And I'm like, it's sometimes it's true. Like I took my daughter to a movie and at the ArcLight, right? Because we lived 2 street lights away from there, right there on Sunset. And we went to ArcLight. We're in line getting popcorn, and there's a couple in front of us. And the girl turns around and looks at my daughter and she's like, "Oh, hi," and starts talking. And I like realize, I'm like, wait, that's the girl from Fanboys. It was Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell, yeah.
With Dak, whatever.
Her husband.
Right. And I couldn't remember. And I was just like, what's her fucking name? I was like, fucking Sarah Marshall? No, like, I've seen that movie, but like, damn it. And I couldn't remember. And I was just like, oh, hi. Yeah. And like, I'm like talking to her, like with my daughter, but I didn't get because I didn't know her name and because I couldn't place her besides Fanboys and actually no, I didn't place her in Fanboys. I placed her in Sarah Marshall until after I was like, she was in Fanboys. Fuck. Yeah. I should have.
And now she's Elsa, right? Or
yeah. Well, I don't think Elsa hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, it hadn't. But I mean, now it's like,
this was probably 2009, 2010, something around then. So, there was that. And then again, I was working at Best Buy, and the person that would always go there is what's his face? The little short comedian that he's always with The Rock.
Kevin Hart.
What was it? Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Kevin Hart would bike to the Northridge Best Buy to like buy movies and stuff. Like he was literally like he had this like bike.
Bicycle.
Yeah.
Did it have the little
wheels on the side?
No, I'm kidding. Like he would be there like, and he would bike like, but he was like all like in his like he was exercising, right? And everybody would be like, oh yeah, that's Kevin Hart, and like we'd all go and help him. Who else did I help? Common.
Was he even big back then?
Oh yeah.
No. I mean, he basically, but he wasn't as famous back then.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he wasn't.
Right. But yeah, Common. One time, because I was the manager of like the music section, they had like a little mini guitar center in the Best Buys, and Common is just there, and he sits down on these like electric drums, and he's like hitting them, and I walk in, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, oh, that's Common, like what the hell? And I'm like, and I'm by myself. We're just opening the store, and I was like, holy crap! And then he's rapping, and he's with his daughter, and he's like kind of just joking around rapping, and then he's just like, oh yeah, and chilling with the Best Buy manager, and I'm like, oh shit, Common just rapped about me, and then he hit my budget basically because he ended up buying like this fancy keyboard for his daughter, and like I was like,
yeah, it's true. I mean, people when you come to LA, you want to see celebrities, and it is true that you can see them. It's just you have to pay attention because my wife we'll be driving and I'll say like, oh my God, look at, that's so-and-so. And she's like, how the hell did you pay attention to that?
Yeah.
She is Zombie Hunter. And it's like, how did you notice that person? It's like, and sometimes it's just like, if you have an eye for it, you can see somebody that you recognize. But
well, at Disneyland, that's us. We look for the plaids, right? Like the members in the plaid outfits. And then we're like, okay, plaid. Rich or famous, right? That's like the game. It's like, are they, there's probably like some wealthy little family, or someone in that group is a celebrity. So we're like trying to like point them out. And at Disneyland, we've seen a ton of celebrities. We've run into like Jack Black to the point where like he was coming in and we're leaving the Snow White ride. So it's a small, tiny exit. So we kind of had to like scooch like that. And as we're scooching, like me and Jack Black, like we're face to face, and I'm like, Jack Black. And my coach like, you just fucking yelled at Jack Black and I don't know what happened. I just saw him and that it just like popped up. Another one is that what's
Tourette's.
Yeah, I'm like, Jack Black. I kind of did the same thing with with Megan Fox. We saw Megan Fox when she was with the 90210 guys still.
Oh, Brian Austin Green.
Brian Austin Green, and we're exiting, I think, Thunder Mountain, and then they're coming in because that's they bring them in
Yeah.
through the exit.
Yep.
And so we cross paths like that, and I couldn't remember her name. I was like, Fox, Vivica Fox, no Fox.
Oh no!
And like
Transformer
my wife,
chick.
yeah, my wife was like, who are you talking about? I'm like, fucking Transformers, like, and then we finally like we saw her, like kind of like towards the end, getting on the ride. We saw that Chloe, what's her name? Chloe.
Was Megan Fox as pretty in person as she is in that?
She just looks like a stunning
in that
person.
bike. I mean, that opening scene was
no, she was stunning, like to the point, like I said, like that's why I kind of got shocked because I was just like, holy shit, like, and she looks just like she does, like, or at least then, like
I saw Lenny Kravitz on the Indiana Jones ride. I was coming off, and he was, like you said, coming through the exit. Yeah.
No, we saw what's her name? Chloe Moetz.
Chloe Moetz, yeah, from Badass or Kick-Ass.
Yeah, so we saw her, and it was funny because like we were kind of walking together, almost like we went into California in both together, and her little group, and then my family, right? And I like look over. And I'm like, oh look, it's that little girl, like it's, and like she like was like dancing or something, like she was like having fun with her friends. And as soon as I'm like pointing at her, I'm like, look, it's her. And then she like looks and she like stops and she like acts all normal. I'm like, oh man,
it's people like that who have a very unique look you can just see from a mile away. Yeah, or like Megan Fox. I mean, it's like, I'm sure she's not as pretty on time. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That'd be funny to see that guy in a Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, right.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I mean, it is kind of crazy, it happens. And
do you see people in San Diego? Do you see celebrities down in San Diego much?
So again, because I worked at Best Buy for such a long time, I worked at the one literally right next to the border, Chula Vista, and we did get a lot of celebrities in there that were either like coming from Mexico or like leaving somewhere like towards Mexico, which I have a funny story actually about that with what's his name, Carrie Hart. Remember the motocross guy, the BMX?
Yeah. Married Pink, right?
Married to Pink, yeah. One day he like shows up because they're opening like a tattoo shop. He has the tattoo, or he used to, I don't know if he still does. Yeah. But he had a bunch of tattoo shops. He was opening one in like Cabo or like somewhere down in the beaches, like right here in Mexico. And he stopped by Best Buy, and I said hi to him. I was like, oh, I'm a big fan, whatever. Can I take a picture? So we took a picture with like myself and some of the employees and stuff. He was really cool. He was really friendly. So we take a picture, and he takes off. So about a month later, my wife, back then she was my girlfriend, she was studying abroad in Italy, and I decided I was going to go visit her. So I get on the plane, and we have a layover in Atlanta, and I'm waiting for my bag to pick it up so I could transfer. And as I'm waiting for the bags, I like look over, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Carrie Hart, like really like
right next to you,
feet away from me, like waiting for his bag too. And I was like, fuck, man, like, do I say something to him? Like, do I say hi to him? Like, that seems creepy as hell. And I'm like, and at one point, like as I'm thinking this, I like look over, and he like, we make eye contact, and he like nods, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, you remember me? And he's like, Best Buy guy, right? I was like,
no shit.
I'm like, hey,
that's great.
Right. So then we're just kind of just like chit chat, like, oh yeah, I'm going to visit my girlfriend, and she's in Italy and this and that. So we're just chatting. We got our bags and we go our separate ways. Fast forward like another like maybe 6 months, my wife comes back home, and we went to Vegas for her birthday, and her friend had some connects or something in Las Vegas. So we got this like little VIP little booth at I think it's called Johnny English, And we're there on the booth, and I'm sitting on the top of it, right? And it's a big party, and I fucking kid you not, I like look behind us, and in the booth behind us, it's fucking Carrie Hart again. And of course, he looks over, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. And
Yeah, I'm not stalking you. I swear to God.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna even say hi to him. Like, I don't even want him to see me because he's gonna think I'm like stalking. And it's weird because it's not even like a big celebrity, right? And it just coincidentally.
Yeah.
Didn't those tattoo places, they had some in Vegas, all right? Didn't they have
that's probably why. Yeah, I think he did have one in the hotel.
So did you not say anything to him?
We made eye contact at one point, like nodded, but if you remembered me, I didn't even. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have a pretty unique look. I mean, I'm sure he probably recognized you.
Yeah, maybe.
So I do have it is a really crazy story. My wife doesn't like me telling it, but but it's because it has to do with an ex-girlfriend. But so I went to high school with Anna Faris, who so one of my best friends is her brother. Bob Ferris is her brother.
Yeah.
And Anna was a freshman when I was a senior. I knew her a little bit, but not much. So so Bob would come down and hang out with Anna, and I didn't know who her husband was at all, which was Chris, her ex-husband. It's Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
So I had no idea who he was. So Bob came down. And he goes, "Hey, I'm over at Anna's house. Do you want to come over and hang out?" I'm like, "All right." So went over there, get in there, and he goes, "This is Anna." Anna goes, "Hi," and then she goes, "This is Anna's husband, Chris." I'm like, "Hey," I'd never seen Parks and Rec. I still have never seen an episode of it. So I go in, but then there's this girl at their counter. They're in the kitchen, and she goes, "Brad." I'm like, "Wait." She goes, "We used to date." It was Chris's sister, Angie, I dated her for about a year back in the 90s, up in, when I lived up in Seattle, before I moved to LA. And I'm like, holy shit, Angie, no way. And then, because for years I forgot her last name. I forgot that it was Pratt. And so I met Chris when he was like 13 or something like that, 13 or 14, back up in Seattle.
Yeah.
So her and I are talking all night. And again, I don't know who Chris is at all.
Right.
And he's talking about Parks and Rec. He's like, "Oh yeah, I just finished, I'm just doing Parks and Rec this summer or something like that." And I'm like, I was thinking, "Oh, he actually works for the city. That's cool." but someone had told me that he was an actor. I'm like, "Well, maybe he's just a struggling actor. That's
hilarious."
So he goes, so we're all sitting outside, and him and Bob are smoking cigars. And he goes, "Oh, I just got this humidor from the production I just finished." And he shows it. And I actually took a photo of it. It's Star-Lord's emblem on the humidor. So
what? The little fire,
the little fire emblem. So I just took a photo of it, and he was like, "Yeah, I just finished this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy." And I'd heard of it. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not a comic book person at all, so I had no idea what it was." So I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool." Go, like flash forward, what, few months, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, "Oh, holy shit. Like, that's who he is." So then Bob gets married he lives up in, he's a professor at UC Davis. So he's like, "Hey, you want to come up for my wedding?" I'm like, "Sure." So I go up there, and Chris is there. And by that time, the Lego movie had come out, and obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, and my kids were pretty young. And so we went up there, and Chris is there, and like I introduced him to my son, my daughter and my wife and stuff. And I go, "Chris, my son knows who you are."
Yeah.
And he goes right into Emmett's voice from the Lego movie. He goes, "Hello, Harrison." And he's like, I go, "Oh, actually, no, he knows you're Star-Lord." My son was, at the time, was only like 4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was the coolest thing. And he had just wrapped filming Jurassic Park or Jurassic World at that time.
Wow. You dated his sister.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. She's actually, she's on my Facebook friends list. You can see that. But yeah, so it was just a weird coincidence that I went to high school with Bob and Anna, and then he married my ex-girlfriend's brother. It was so wild. So,
and especially because you're not from LA, like, you know.
Yeah. No, and well, yeah. So like Anna, we're from a small town called Edmonds, which is just north of Seattle, and then he was from I think he's from Marysville. Anyways, it was anyways a little bit ways away, so we weren't even in the same city. So
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's coincidence, man.
Yeah.
But guys, I know Lee especially. I know we're going to 3 hours, even though I told I
shit
used myself from the table. I was like, be back in about an hour and a half.
I think that your dinner's in the dog, Gabe.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, the party.
Gabe's going to Taco Bell, aren't you?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that they brought me something, but we'll see.
Taco
But
Bell's
cool.
still open, yeah.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you. I mean, thank you for jumping on and hanging out.
No, thank you.
Last man, thank you. Yeah, your house, Lee, freaking came out awesome. And
Thanks, man. It's I still got a shit ton of work. That backyard's gonna be, when it's done though, we're gonna have a big pool party. You can all come here and sleep on the floor, whatever.
You need to get that the Return of the Jedi thing where they had the speeder swing on it.
Oh,
you know, do you ever see that? It was like from Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not putting one of them in the backyard. Come on, dude. I gotta have some cred. I gotta be somewhat cool. If possible.
Well, cool. Well,
Thanks,
again, yeah, no problem. Thank you, Brad, for jumping on. Brad, I just realized the title. Brad,
Not Michael.
And Lee, thanks again. Next week we'll have a cool show because Michael's gonna come back. He's already been sending me a lot of footage from WonderCon, so next week I'm sure we're gonna highlight all that stuff. I'm sure he'll tell all his stories of meeting all these cool ILM people. So look out for that. But yeah, thanks guys. I really appreciate you guys jumping on.
Yeah,
no problem. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Brad, we need to catch up, dude.
We will.
All right. See ya.
See you guys.